America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
And the Lincoln Journal-Star's Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake. Sponsored by Gaina Trucking.
Good morning. Happy Thursday to you, Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen. Early break. Full show ahead. We've got plenty to get to with Mike Schaefer in the 7 o'clock hour. Of course, Rick Heyman is here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. Good morning to Rick.
Morning.
How are you doing today?
Terrific.
Doing well. My headset, once again, is not doing well over here, so you see me toying with it. Just the way it's going to be.
Mine is really loud. It's just real loud here. Thank you.
Better?
A little bit. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. All right, we'll figure this out.
All right.
How you doing, Sip?
Planes off the ground. Real good. How are you doing?
I still can't hear him, so everything's great.
Hi, Jake. What's up? Good
I
morning.
have to hold it like this. It's fine.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, except to hold it like this.
You want to
until I can do a
change? You want to
headset.
change up headsets?
No,
We'll
I'll
do
do
that
that
at the
once
break.
we're talking more.
All right. Good morning.
Yes, good
We got a
morning.
lot to talk about.
We do. We are 2 days away from Nebraska, Minnesota. Huskers trying to get back to 4-4 and 2-3 in conference play. We all know the importance of this game for Nebraska to get to the postseason. If they don't win this game, it seems very unlikely. Not impossible, very unlikely. Nebraska now a 3.5-point favorite as of yesterday on the spread for this game. But as we look ahead to this, I guess I want to dive right into it. I don't have any sort of small talk today for you.
You don't?
Yesterday was just busy. I was at the Lincoln Business Expo, and I talked a lot yesterday to a lot of businesses. Shout out to the people at the Chamber of Commerce Business Expo.
Did you get to relax last night?
No,
Oh, you did.
I had a buddy in town. Good to see him. I hadn't seen him for a while. So
You have buddies?
I got a friend. Yeah, my friend from Texas. He was in town. So I got some Mexican food and
Oh, where'd you go?
meet Tierra.
Oh, nice.
That's at 56 in Old Cheney.
What'd you have?
I got some shrimp tacos.
Nice. You really
Some
like
beans
shrimp.
and rice and some the problem I have when I go to Mexican places is that I have no self-restraint on those freaking chips. I get in there and I was hungry. I didn't eat lunch yesterday because I was busy the whole time talking. So I was hungry, but I went in with the intention of eating a few chips and then eating my whole meal. And of course, what always happens, which happened again last night, is I sit down and my hand becomes a magnet to the chip bowl, which then goes right into my mouth, and I eat like 2 bowls of chips by myself, which means by the time the food's there, I have like 2 of my tacos, and that's it. And I take the rest home. And I hate taking leftovers.
Do you hate yourself?
I don't hate myself. I walk away disappointed every time.
Do you
at
hate
myself.
Hey, what do you have any advice for Jake?
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can't.
Well,
I hog out on the salsa and the chips. I like to add hot, like habanero to the salsa.
Okay.
And
Well,
if they got the bean dip, like Hacienda, that stuff is
Hacienda Real.
that is.
Is that what it's
Yeah,
called?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that stuff's good. Hey, now, but you're not helping. You're not helping.
I
Jake.
do the same thing, and then I bring it home.
Well, you eat a lot of Mexican food. How do you not avoid?
Yeah.
How do you avoid the chip bowl
I
disaster?
I pushed the chips toward Trixie's side, and she'll say something along the lines of, "I'm not your babysitter." But I
I have zero restraint. Like
just
zero.
push the chips away, push them to the other end of the table, where it's sort of uncomfortable to reach all the way over.
I'd still do it though. I don't care if I reached over there, I would still eat the whole bowl and say, "Well, this is awkward reaching over."
Some
you,
of it's just
reaching over you."
it's just a nervous habit.
I'm
I
not
think.
nervous. I'm just eating chips. It's just like I just keep eating them because they're delicious. At Meat Tierra, there's also bean dip, and so I use that. Oh, I mean
so
that's a bonus for the chips.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell the waiter just a small bowl, please.
Well, and the problem is that I go through the first one and I don't intend to have a second one, and they take the bowl and just bring back a new one. I'm like, well, how do I say it? I don't want that. They've already put it down and left and walked away.
Yeah.
They know I have a problem.
This is a common.
They know that I have a problem. They're I guess welcoming the problem and encouraging it.
This is a common human problem.
I know. Well, I have it bad time though, big time.
It's not such a bad thing.
It is when you are stuffed before your meal arrives, which was the intention of going there in the first place. That is a problem.
That's the secret. They do that on purpose.
I know. Well,
Why though?
I don't know.
they want me to take leftovers home. Is that why?
Well,
I don't know.
Maybe they don't want you to order as much. I don't know.
I don't know.
No.
Well, of course
that
they want you
can't
to order.
be.
Yeah, of course they want you to order.
They wouldn't want me to fill up on the free chips. That'd be a bad business policy by them.
It's
but
interesting.
Some people, when I was in high school, people would go to the Mexican restaurant in Beatrice and just get chips and salsa and walk away,
Called
not
it
pay,
good.
and get a water and walk away for free because they don't charge you for that. Did I do that? No, I knew people who did though, and I'm sure they probably still do. Or some people don't do that if they want to eat cheap and leave. Maybe leave a $1 tip, I suppose, because what's a tip on free? Is infinity, right? $1 is like infinity still on free.
I think I know what he's saying at this point. Well, you can again. We'll talk about that at some other point when I have a better solution. But
there's no solution to the chip problem for me. None.
I gave you two. One, you push.
I'm not pushing the chips away. That's weird. I don't want to look weird at the dinner table.
It doesn't look weird.
Why are the chips way over there? Well, I have a problem.
Yeah,
that's why.
That's not weird.
What's the second
Out of
solution?
all that, ask the waiter just for a
small bowl
bowl.
of chips. Yeah, they bring it out before you even talk to them though. Like
well, you can eat the one.
They say,
bowl.
"Good evening. Here's your chips. What would you like to drink now?"
Does Elizabeth eat her fair share?
She had like 4 last night.
Yeah,
and I had
she had
probably about
restraint.
600 chips.
She had restraint. I always tell Trix, "This is my last one. This is the last chip."
Okay,
and she'll say, "Yeah, right." And then I'll eat about 7 more last ones. But if you announce the last one, it looks silly if you keep doing it. So that's one other way to do it. Say, "This is it. This is it for me. I'm not eating any more chips."
It doesn't work like that for me. I'll try it. I'll give it a shot. I guarantee it does not work. So I will someday have restraint.
It wouldn't be that hard if we went out to
it'll be
eat.
a
I'd
while.
just take the chips away from you and say, "You're not having any more. You don't want to. You don't want to."
What if that night I was really hungry though, and I did? I'd say, "Sip, I'm serious. I
you're
need
gonna
those.
have?
I need
you're
those
going
chips."
to have a meal coming. Okay,
All right.
have some restraint.
Michael in Columbia, South Carolina says, "Chips and salsa reminds you how little self-control we actually have."
That's true.
Well, that's my big one.
How about Olive Garden and the breadstick?
God.
I can restrain myself there. I only have about one.
That's a hard one. That's hard.
If I have
I've ruined meals at Olive Garden.
If I have 2, it's a surprise. I can control myself there. But I love those
I use them
breadsticks,
as
though.
croutons on the salad.
Right.
That's weird.
And
No, it's not weird.
They
Is
already
that
have
weird?
croutons in the salad.
No, is that weird?
They already have
4,
croutons
6, 4,
in there.
5, 6, 8, 5. Is it weird to break up your breadstick and put it on your salad?
Okay, it's not that weird,
nobody's
but
saying
they
that's weird.
already have croutons in the salad though.
4, 6, 4, 5, 6, 8, 5.
Yeah, the salad already has croutons.
I love doing that. By the way,
I'm with you.
Yeah, you just
It already has croutons in it. Why do you need more? I take the croutons out of the salad. It's just a waste of space. It's too crunchy. I don't need that crunch. Like your crunchy peanut butter. I don't need that crunch. I need the smooth
The
taste.
bread is smooth.
I was glad we had the show
is.
yesterday. I was hungry yesterday. I just started eating the crunchy peanut butter right out of the
That's
jar.
weird. Don't do that. If it's creamy, that's okay. Just keep that crunchy
All
stuff
right,
out of
I'm
here.
concerned about you right now.
464-5685. Call or text as always. Looking at Nebraska, we talked yesterday about some power rankings.
What is your deal?
We talked about power rankings yesterday. We had, Sam McEwen has Nebraska 6th in the Big Ten. Your colleague Parker Gabriel has Nebraska 9th in the Big Ten in terms of rankings, behind Minnesota and Purdue in those rankings. But I want to ask you and the listeners, if we look right now at the Big Ten West, the standings do not indicate this because of the record. But when you look at the programs, is Nebraska right now, today, the second best team in the Big Ten West? And is it easy to say that? Or are you fighting against yourself on some other team that's worthy of that honor?
Yeah, I fight a little bit with Wisconsin, as strange as that sounds.
Right, really, right now?
A little bit. I know how bad they are on offense, but I've watched them, and it's hard to ignore a defense that's number 1 in the nation in against the run, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to ignore that. They still play excellent defense. I watched them against directional Michigan, and I watched the entire game, and I did not think, oh, Wisconsin's terrible. I watched the entirety of their game against Notre Dame, and I did not think Wisconsin's terrible.
But the fourth quarter of that game.
Yeah, the offense
they look
the
terrible
offense is pretty bad.
That quarter.
Yeah. Now, do I think Nebraska's better than them? By a nose, because the quarterback's so much better. Because Nebraska's got such a better quarterback.
They do.
And that's a huge part of the conversation. And Nebraska has better skill players. I don't mind Wisconsin's running backs, but their line's not as good as it usually is. I don't mind Wisconsin's running backs, but they don't have
They
much.
are underwhelming compared to what the
they're-
past.
Yeah, they're okay.
Compared to what they've had, they're just they're underwhelming. Not even ordinary. Underwhelming. Those guys don't scare you. I'm with you. The line is not the way.
Not really.
The line is not the way it has been in the past. But again, those running backs are not doing a lot.
You got to watch Jalen Allen a little bit. He's capable of doing some damage. He's the converted linebacker that they played this past week, and he's good. But Nebraska probably gets an edge because Nebraska's defense, it's not Wisconsin's defense. It's not as good as Wisconsin's defense, but it's not that far away. And I think the totality of the rest of the team, particularly the quarterback, gives Nebraska an edge. I would say Nebraska is the second best team in the Big Ten West, but not by that much.
And Wisconsin's your team you're fighting there.
Yeah.
Where's Minnesota in the comparison?
Jake.
Because
no.
you have
Jake.
you've looked at this game. You think Nebraska, as you've gone forward, wins by more than you thought
Their
originally.
offense is
They're down to a third string running back.
Yep.
They have
a quarterback who's completing 52.2% of his passes.
They've had some injuries at receiver as well.
Right.
I know that some of those guys might be back this week, but they've had injuries at receiver.
You can't look at Minnesota and have 2019 on your brain because it's not that team.
No, this is not Rashad Bateman, Chris Ottman-Bell healthy. Ottman-Bell is battling injury.
And Tyler Johnson.
Tyler Johnson.
And Shannon Brooks.
And Rodney Smith.
Smith.
Yeah, they were stacked.
And Mo Ibrahim.
That was a stacked team.
Okay.
There's
not
a
that
reason why
team.
they won 11 games.
Yeah, it's not that team. And there's a reason why this whole Minnesota discussion is this PJ Fleck discussion is this, oh man, he's the man. Why? They had the one season, but since then, what is it? And before that, what is it? It's nothing. They're 16-20 under Fleck in the Big Ten. 16-20 with the 7-2 in 2019. Jake, 16-20 with a 7-2 in 2019.
Conference play.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Minnesota
So
team.
don't do the thing you do with Fitzgerald. Try to tell me he's this ungodly coach that you can't beat.
Well, Minnesota's not won a Big Ten division title since Fleck's been here. Pat Fitzgerald's won 2 of the last 3 years. Don't forget that. When you put Fitzgerald down, just please don't forget he's won 2 division titles the last 3 years. That's a fact. This year they were bad. It's a bad team this year, but do not forget that he won 2 out of 3 division titles.
They didn't even look like a well coached.
Well, what about last year though? They won the division last year. They sucked this year. Yeah, they're not having a good year.
Anyway,
Still a good coach. Had a bad.
Good coach can go 1-10. That's interesting.
He's having a bad year. He won the division last year. Can't believe you put him down so easily. He had a bad year.
I don't put him down. I just don't lift him up to be this incredible coach. How can you be an incredible coach and have that team?
Well, I'm just saying that they'll bounce back next year because they always do.
That's your greatest argument. Something that hasn't happened.
3 years ago, division title. 2 years ago,
your great argument is something that hasn't happened.
2 years ago, 3-9. Last year,
I think Frost is the right guy because they're going to go undefeated next year. What does that mean?
I've got history on my side for Pat Fitzgerald.
Frost.
It's happened.
Frost is the guy for the next 10 years because they're going undefeated next year. And that's how absurd you sound.
But Fitzgerald backed up a bad year 2 years ago with a great year. They won the division title last year. That's why I say that. But
you think this team's going to come back next year and win the division?
No, I didn't.
Do you really think that?
I'm not. I said history's on his side.
Let's bet on that.
We're not betting on that.
Why? Because that's what your argument is.
I said history is more on Pat Fitzgerald's side than Scott Frost or PJ Fleck at this point.
You think
that's hard? How do you argue against that?
Northwestern's coming back and winning the West?
I don't know what they'll do next year. I just said I believe in him what they do there because they have done it. They don't get close. They've done it. They have won the division title twice in the last 3 years. Like there's no way to go against it. I understand they sucked this year. They sucked 2 years,
but not next year, right?
They sucked 2 years ago.
They're going to win division next year.
Pat Fitzgerald has earned the trust and the belief because he has done it. He has bounced back from crap years to have good success. I don't know why you get so fired up about Pat Fitzgerald.
I do, because I get sick of the exaltation. He's exalted. Like, come on. I watched the team, man. That wasn't even a well-coached team, Jake.
Well, were they last year when they won the division and pushed to Ohio State in the Big Ten championship? That's all I go. You can't just forget about what's happened. Yes, they sucked this year. It's hard to get great talent at Northwestern, but with that being said, he's won 2 out of 3 division titles. That's why I back up Pat Fitzgerald, because he's done it. Let's get a call here from Vince in Napa, California. Vince, you're on early break. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, fellas.
Hey,
How are
Vince.
you?
Good morning.
Great.
Okay,
Great.
first of all, before I get into football, I'm going to follow up on your conversation about restaurants. Okay? Now, first of all, being first-generation American with both parents and both sets of grandparents from Italy, I got to take umbrage with you guys bringing up Olive Garden.
Oh, God, yeah.
No self-respecting Italian would ever set foot in Olive Garden. You want to know what? I'd rather do a backflip on a bed of nails than eat at Olive Garden.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. Oh, easy, Vince. That's not true.
Well,
that's just simply not
but
true.
Then again, I've been spoiled by greatness by what I grew up with. So in my world, the only place to go for Italian is Casa Diadamo, Napa, California.
Okay.
But,
say it again, please.
Casa Diadamo, Napa, California.
What?
We'll be right there.
Okay. All right. What do you have? What do you have?
Let's see. Well, also I can tell you one thing. I mean, I also make my own homemade sauce and my own homemade minestrone soup, and I do it over drinking a bottle of wine too.
As you should in Napa.
Makes everything taste better.
You guys wouldn't want me any other way now, would you?
No, evidently. No, obviously not. Obviously not.
Yeah. And as for Mexican, I love Mexican food also. And, and I'll tell you one thing. I mean, luckily I'm pretty fortunate. I limit myself to a bowl of chips because whatever Mexican place I go to, and out here there's a ton of them. And there's some taco trucks too. But because I'm usually good about limiting it to one bowl of chips, because I know they're going to quote Bill Engvall, they're not going to give me a burrito that I can hold like a cigarette.
Who's Bill Engvall, by the way?
Anyhow, in the words of Bill Belichick, we're on to Minnesota. But relevant to what you're saying, so Sip, about the Big Ten West rankings and the Big Ten rankings, what strikes me is that in the Big Ten West for Nebraska, I mean, our performance and our record just kind of in a way don't line up. I mean, we should have a better record, so therefore, it's kind of a very thin line. I mean, you can make a case for as high as 2, or you could possibly make a case for as low as 5. I mean, and it's and that's where it's so much unlike the old Big 8, because in the old Big 8, we could go into a season and really only have to worry about 1 or 2 teams, and the rest were just kind of throwaway wins. And but as far as this Saturday is concerned, and we've talked about it, we're playing. I mean, to me, you can't look at where Minnesota currently is. Because, you're looking at a team that since 2017 has clowned us. I mean, I would have clowned us under Mike Riley too, but they clowned us in 2019, and in a small way, they kind of clowned us last year too. Because they had 87 guys missing for COVID, and they still beat us.
Yeah, 33.
So, right. Well, whatever. But anyhow, like I said earlier this week, if you're a player, I know the Michigan game was a drain as far as from a loss, but if you can't get up for a team that clowned you, 2 of the last 3 years or 3 of the last 4, then there's something wrong with you. Now, I don't know if you were listening the other day, Rick, but I'll repeat. I'll give it in the rated G version because I'm not about rowing the boat. I'm not even about rucking the boat. I want to capsize the boat.
I did hear that.
You want to know what else I want to do? Since PJ likes to row that paddle and all this and all of that, there was an old rule of punishment back in the day. They called it corporal punishment. You know what I say? use that paddle for what it's meant for and give him a little corporal punishment on Saturday.
All right. Thank you, Vince. Thank you.
Took him a while,
Oh,
but he
yeah,
finally got
he got there. He got there eventually.
Let's show a little more.
Thank you, Vince.
What's the
Appreciate
word
that.
I'm looking for?
Interest.
Yeah.
Jake's asleep over there.
Waiting for Vince to get to his punchline there. He got there. Thank you, Vince.
All right,
Appreciate the
back to
phone call.
Fitzgerald. Just joking. Back to
I'll talk all day about Pat Fitzgerald.
yes.
I don't think we need to have a fight in the studio, though. By the way, the text line's on my side, that one, but we'll move on.
Well, whatever. I mean, I don't get that. I mean, your whole argument was
do division
well,
titles
you're
not
worried-
matter to you?
you're worried about Northwestern because Fitzgerald's going to outcoach Frost.
Well, he didn't in that game. Congrats to Scott Frost and Nebraska. They had their best game of their Big Ten era. That's true. That was their best game they had the entire Big Ten era, and I'm proud of them. I'm happy for them.
I don't think you are.
I am. I just say you
You're
can't.
supposed to
you
run
can't-
6 miles.
I'm going to. I'll get to the Big Sky is going to help film the 6 mile run. He is committed to that. So we'll get there.
Anyway, yeah. As far as this, is Nebraska the second best team in the West? I'd say so, but I don't know what that means right now. I don't know what that.
Well, the question is going to be: is that a 1-year thing, or is it something that they're trending toward being, and maybe potentially getting to being the best team in the West? The goal is obviously is not just to make a bowl game for this program. The goal is to win the division title and go play in the Big Ten championship. Not this year, of course, it's not going to happen, but I think you need to believe by the end of the season, although you're going to lose some super seniors and lose guys that are important to this roster, that we can go into next year believing honestly, without trying to lie to ourselves, but honestly, that they will have a chance to contend for the Big Ten West. And that you can tell that if your eyes tell you
Yeah.
by when you play Wisconsin and Iowa and Minnesota and Purdue these next 4 or 5 games,
Yeah.
that you're better than them or right with them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of data points left here.
There
That's
are
the thing.
sure there are.
I mean, and this is a big one. This one's a big
It
one.
is a huge one.
Because if we keep saying that our eyes tell us this is a good team, and my eyes tell me that Minnesota's not that good, then you got to go up there and win. Well, to help our sanity. I mean, I don't know. What does it mean for the program? Is every game the end all be all? You know,
This year,
will we
from now
ever?
on,
Will we ever get off that?
Uh,
Will we ever get off that?
well, Nebraska needs to.
That end all be all discussion.
I think they need to next year probably, easily make a bowl game, right?
I don't know.
I'm not sitting here saying, hey, year 5, Scott Frost needs to win the Big Ten West. That's not exactly something that you can say if they sneak into a bowl game this year.
If you start
for the
off
first time.
yeah, if you start off slow as a coach somewhere,
I know.
if your first couple years or first 3 years are a little rough, this becomes the discussion. This is the way I would learn from this if I were a coach was, man, if I go to another job, you got to get off to a good start and build yourself some grace. Because if you don't, then when you get to year 3, year 4, every game you're being judged as this is going to work or this is not going to work.
so
It's usually not this is going to work.
Right.
I mean, it's usually this.
The odds are stacked against you here at this point.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you can have a good win and people are still going to say, you got to prove it some more.
Yep.
yeah,
Prove.
Yeah. And then you get to this point where, and I fell into this trap when I said Michigan State was the biggest game of the Frost tenure. Now every game is the biggest game of the
That's
Frost
right.
tenure. Every game is the biggest game of the Frost tenure. And is that a way to live?
it's what you got now.
It's not a way to live.
Is that fun?
But think about this. The conversation
Is it
always
fun?
becomes it's not fun. No, it's not fun. The conversation always becomes this. If the head coach in Nebraska was anybody but Scott Frost, not a Nebraska tie, what would the discussion be right now about his future at Nebraska?
I don't know if that's
The record he's had, and of course progress this year, but still 3-4. If it was not Scott Frost, what would we be saying about?
Well, didn't we do this
said
with
coach.
Pelini though?
Well, Pelini was winning 9-10 games a year though.
Man, we're still kind of having a conversation about this is you got to win this one.
Well, that's
Gotta
why
win
it's
this
even
one.
more of a conversation now because they're not winning 9-10 games. They're below
Right.
500, well below 500 in the tenure of this football coach,
Yeah,
obviously.
500.
If this was Mike Norvell instead of Scott Frost as the head coach, what's
Yeah.
the conversation right now?
well, it's not that at Florida State.
I guarantee you this: if you don't make a bowl game, you're pretty much out for sure. If this was not a Scott Frost team,
Yeah.
If it's
I
not
agree.
somebody with a Nebraska connection at all, it's just somebody you hired as the best in the cycle. With the record they have and the
might be
fact
right.
if they don't make a bowl game, and that's not the case for Frost. I mean, Frost, it's
don't-
different. I think for him this year, I
Do
still
you
think
he gets more grace.
yes.
I do too.
Do you?
How could he not be getting more grace? There's a chance that a coach with his record after year 3 was fired by this program. We've already saw that was Mike Riley got fired after 3 years.
It's not all
With the-
about
with the
name,
worst
though.
record.
It's not all about the name because the circumstances change. I think people here are less apt to pull the trigger fast because we've done that. We've done that. We've done that. We've done that. Now maybe no matter who it is, people would say, "Oh, we got to give him a little."
Well,
more
they're
time."
going to be slow to pull
if
the
they-
trigger now because this was a guy that everybody wanted. It's not like this is a out of nowhere hire like Mike Riley was.
Mhm.
People like Bo Pelini. They gave him 7 years. I mean, I know that he obviously it got a little murky at the end. He still was winning 9-10 games.
A little
He had the issues with he was a very colorful coach. We all know that he was
a little
colorful.
murky.
But we're also not talking about year 7 right now of Scott Frost. We're talking about year 4. This is his 4th year.
I'm trying to
Bo's
wrap-
here for 7.
I'm still trying to. I just would need a little more convincing on this. That if it was someone other, what if it was a likable coach? You know,
Wasn't Mike Riley likable? He got fired after 3 years too.
Sprinkles.
That guy had a firing press conference that people were giving him hugs in. I think they liked Mike Riley.
Mm.
Did the fan base like him? Not for his results in the field, but he was a very likable person.
Yeah, you might be right. I'd probably need a little more convincing.
And his record it was better through 3 years than Frost was. He was 19-19. Now inherited a better roster. I'm not going to try to deny that at all. Inherited better talent.
Well, a better situation.
He inherited a winning team. That team had won 9 games the year before he got here. He wasn't inheriting crap. He was inheriting a very solid football
Dude,
team.
these conversations are difficult.
Ross says, "Come on, Sip. Frost would have been fired last year if his name was not Scott Frost.
Last
But if
year.
it was anybody with the record he has, he'd be fired.
Well, I
But
don't
he's
wanna-
got a longer runway than
I
other
don't wanna
guys. Now the
argue.
runway is not that long
I
right
don't want to
now.
argue hypotheticals. We've done enough of that.
Jim has a colorful text I will edit out here.
Yeah, edit.
He says, I think I can speak for everyone. He's trying to speak for me. In Nebraska, when I say bleep Mike Riley.
Yeah. I don't know. This is a fascinating conversation. It's been a fascinating season. Uncomfortable though. Sometimes I wonder. I mean, now Rick, is it a fun season?
No.
That concerns me when I hear that. Are you sure? Are your friends having fun? The last 2 weeks
No.
were fun. Wouldn't you say the last 2 weeks were fun though?
Yeah.
As you got into the night games.
I'm at the age, been through so much around here that I'll watch part of a game and it doesn't matter to me if I don't see everything. And then I watch the highlights because they're readily available. Back in the day when you had to videotape every single game and go back and rewind everything. And it's different now for me.
The season's kind of wears you out a little bit.
It's a little bit of a wear out.
In a way it's fun, I guess, because the tension is sort of fun, but the continual like Nick Baugh said it really well. Nick Baugh,
Mm-hmm.
that every game is a referendum followed by a town hall meeting.
That
is good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and that that in the town hall meeting there's a lot of nasty back and forth, right? And that's the way we want to exist.
I don't think we want to exist there. Just the way things are right now for Nebraska. I mean, if they're winning games, you're not really having that conversation. If they're contending for the West, if they're where Iowa's at right now, number 2, you think we got a fighting town hall that people are pissed at each other?
No, but how often does Iowa have that?
They don't. But I'm saying it wouldn't happen right now if they were winning like that. Iowa has been winning consistently more than Nebraska.
I mean,
has.
if that's the answer, that you got to be number 2 in the country and undefeated
Okay, now
every
I take it
year.
to the extreme, which they are not.
every
Iowa fans
year.
aren't fighting
Yeah,
that much
you're
about
right.
Kirk
I mean,
Ferentz.
I will give you that. You're right. If Nebraska were 6-0 and number 2 every year,
Impossible this morning.
Yeah.
Impossible. It's just impossible today.
She is.
Surly Sipple on this
No, I'm not
Thursday
surly.
morning.
I mean,
We took what I said to the extreme. I said, Iowa fans, if you talk to Iowa fans, they like Kirk Ferentz. They don't really want him out of there. They're happy. They've been happy they had obviously the bad year in 2012, the crap that happened with Chris Doyle. I know that wasn't very popular, but guess what? He still is liked there.
But is that what it comes down to, though? You just got to be undefeated or close to undefeated.
They liked him last year. They weren't undefeated. They started off 0-2 last year and rebounded just fine. Nobody was saying fire Kirk Ferentz after 2 games.
No.
Because they have a culture, they win there. They don't win big all the time. They win pretty consistently good, though.
He's been on the hot seat, though. I mean,
yeah, but when's the last time he was on the hot seat?
Well, they had the off-field issues.
But was he really on the hot seat, though? Did you ever hear people say? You heard some say he's fired, but Iowa was never saying that.
No, not really. They weren't.
It has been a long time since he's been on the hot seat for his record on the field, because they've been pretty consistent for a while.
They
haven't been winning 12 games like they might do this year.
They go to a bowl game.
They've been winning 8-9 games consistently, and Iowa fans are okay with that. Nebraska fans in the past were not.
Hold on, I know that I don't think it's as cut and dried as
that's why I'm curious.
You portray it. If Nebraska were having those kind of seasons, I don't know. They fired. I mean, like you say with Fitzgerald, I have history on my side on that. If Nebraska were winning 8 and 9, if you're saying people would be okay with it, I would say I don't know.
I wonder if now it's what happens the last 5 years that they would understand that's okay. Now that you've been extremely humbled as a fan base, because you proved that what you thought couldn't happen has happened here. People thought that could not happen at Nebraska. That you could go 4 straight years without a bowl game. Yeah. That seemed impossible with the history of Nebraska football. And guess what? It happened.
Yeah, forget the extreme. If Nebraska were just a 7 to 8 to 9 win program for a while, are people going to be okay with that?
I think they'd be more okay with it now because of what happened the last 4 years. Are they going to be long-term okay with it? I don't know about that. But you have a generation younger than myself that's never seen them really be any good at all. They've seen them when they're kids maybe make the Big 12 or Big 10 title game in 2009, 10, or 12. But they were kids.
I don't know. It's interesting. I find it fascinating.
Should have kept Pelini. Should have kept Pelini.
Yeah,
I don't know about that. Bo was
it got untenable.
Bo was trying to get fired at the end there a little bit.
Yeah,
he said, if you want to fire me, then fire me. Right. I don't know how you come back from that.
Yeah. Well, he came back from it,
which was which was very weird. We'll have more next on Early Break in the Ticket.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
A chilly morning, but with a decent amount of sunshine. We'll see an afternoon high approaching 65. Winds will be much calmer out of the northwest at 10. Clouds, though, thicken this evening into tonight. We could even see a few scattered showers. A low down to around 43. Decreasing cloud cover tomorrow, but cooler with a high of 61. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
The worst of times can bring out the best in each of us. Doctors, nurses, and frontline workers have labored selflessly to keep us safe during the health crisis of our lifetime. How do we thank these heroes? It's simple. Get your COVID vaccine so we can end this pandemic. Variants are on the rise, and we don't want to put these heroes through another health crisis. They have given their all. Now it's up to you. Please do your part. For you, for them, for us.
This message sponsored by the Helmsley Charitable Trust, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Tailgating wasn't just meant for weekends. Join 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday at Chick-fil-A for Tailgate Tuesdays. Scan your app with any purchase on Tuesdays and you'll be entered to win a tailgate meal for 15 people. That's chicken nuggets, fresh fruit, and iced tea or lemonade. Winners will be contacted each Wednesday, and you can come see Tom and Bach from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the 48th and O location or at South Point each week. It's Tailgate Tuesdays all season long at Chick-fil-A in Lincoln.
All the fall favorites are back at Bagels and Joe. Try their caramel apple cream cheese on any of their bagels, or pick up some pumpkin chocolate chip muffins or pumpkin spice lattes for the office. And don't forget their delicious breakfast sandwiches and burritos. Bagels and Joe with 4 Lincoln locations.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air's motto is our family serving yours. That starts with how we hire. We go through an extensive interview process to really get to know you and show you who we are. We want to help you build a great career, be challenged, have fun, and bring home an excellent weekly paycheck. We offer competitive wages with benefits, including a day off for your birthday. Apply to be a part of the John Henry's family at jhlincoln.com. That's jhlincoln.com.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
We're on the air.
Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jay, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
As always, you can call or text us at 402-464-5685. Plenty of text coming. We have a call to get to here in a second from John.
Rough first segment.
It happens to the best of us. It's feisty in here sometimes. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get a call from John while we're waiting. John, you are on early break. Go ahead. Hello. Good.
Hey guys.
Hey, John. Good morning.
How's it going?
Yeah, good morning.
Steve, to answer your question, were we unhappy with 9 wins? Yes, and as fans, we were all very, very spoiled because you're right. Nobody thought that this would happen to us. Right now, I would take a 7 or an 8 win season every year over 3, 4, 5.
Well, of course.
Because this is, I mean, we were selfish children, thinking that this could never happen to us, and we were wrong. We were way, way wrong. We were all spoiled. So I got.
Okay. Here's the deal, though. I mean, it's hard to criticize Nebraska fans at all based on what I've seen the last 2 weeks. I mean, this is a program that's experienced sustained losing and is not even, has had disappointment this year. And look at that scene against Michigan and look at the scene against Northwestern. You're still selling out your stadium, and not only selling it out, you still can produce that level of energy that's the envy of 98% of the country. How many teams in the country can say they have that sort of scene?
Not many. Well,
how many?
Not many at all. Not many.
5, maybe.
Again, not many.
Yeah, maybe.
But
and they all and they're all winning at a high level, the ones you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, I guarantee you Tennessee, which has struggled, can't produce a scene like that.
No.
Not right now.
Well, and that's why if you talk to a general person that's trying to assess Scott Frost and his future, I mean, they think this is a good program. If you watch how what the attendance in those games, how the fans were into it, how the product was good in the field.
Yep.
I don't know how you can't sell that they're progressing. They're making the right steps.
Absolutely.
The wins aren't there, but you got to trust your eyes a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I know you want to glance at the record and say, 3 and 4, that sucks. Here we go again. But you have to trust your eyes. And your eyes are telling you that this team is pretty good.
How much do you trust your eyes?
I trust my eyes a lot.
What do you?
My eyes.
What's your score?
I've got glasses on. I trust them so much.
Okay. Okay, now, but this is I'm going to get to a fascinating part of the conversation. We trust our eyes. How much do you trust them? I mean, what's the spread at Minnesota, and are you taking Nebraska?
I'm taking Nebraska to cover the spread to win the game.
By how much?
The
How much
spread's
do you trust?
3.5.
Yeah.
Actually, okay, hang on. For some reason, and I'll get to my score
How much
tomorrow.
Do you trust your eyes?
I feel like not like a lot. Minnesota's off of a bye week, by the way,
Right.
which they had lost at Bowling Green
This
before.
is difficult conversations, I'm telling you.
It's the fact it's a road game. You know, the road is weird. It's hard to win.
It's
Nebraska.
Minnesota, 11 a.m. This is not going into Death Valley, my boy.
Yeah, but you got to wake up though. You got to be alert and awake.
Yeah,
though.
I got it. I understand.
We haven't had a morning game for a while.
much-
It's Oklahoma, I guess. Last morning game you had.
I'm asking myself the question, okay?
How much do you trust your
Yeah,
eyes?
I'm asking my own self the question.
How much do you trust the coaching staff also in that? It's your eyes versus hey,
All right, now,
also
hold on.
backing what you've seen up to see it, actually become fruitful for Nebraska.
Get ready now. Get ready. What am I asking you right now?
I don't know.
How much do you trust your eyes?
Uh-huh.
Okay. How much do you trust Nebraska to win this game? Under Frost, Nebraska's got the ball with under 4 minutes to play and either tied or down one score 16 times. They've scored a grand total of 3 points and won once.
It's not going to get it done.
The spread's 4 on my side.
If it comes down to the wire, I'm petrified, as I should be, because of those stats right there.
That's from Parker Gabriel. Under Frost, Nebraska's got the ball with under 4 minutes to play and either tied or down one score 16 times. They've scored a grand total of 3 points and won once.
Well, this is why it's important. Now, Minnesota's a better football team than Northwestern is by far this year. They're not great. They lost to Bowling Green the last time out.
Yeah, by far. By far.
Yeah, I
by
think so.
far?
I think Minnesota's going to beat them
far?
by double-digit points.
I'm not saying by far.
When they play them.
Okay.
It's important that Nebraska, I know we say it all the time, but like if you want to avoid that becoming a problem, you better score early, man. You take advantage of it. If this team's bad, if this team is as average or bad as people think they might be, Minnesota, don't let them be hanging around in the fourth quarter because obviously it's been a problem for Nebraska in the Scott Frost era. Closing games out, scoring when they need to score under 4 minutes to go. Don't let that scenario happen. Have it in hand, go to the fourth quarter. I mean, I know it's a lot to ask for, but if this is truly a very good football team.
I know, like if we trust our eyes.
Trust your eyes. If they can actually back that up and be up by double-digit points going to the fourth quarter, take care of it. Don't let it come down to this problem that you have late in the game.
Yeah, if they're what I thought, if Nebraska's what I thought they were starting in the first quarter late against Oklahoma, they'll take care of Minnesota. Of course, then you get into all the nuances and the factors, some of which you referred to, 11 a.m. game, a wearing schedule. Minnesota gets a bye week. It's the nature of the conversation is very unforgiving, which is why we should I'm walking into one here, but which is why we should appreciate teams that do win the division.
And who won that last year? I forget. What coached by what coach won the division last year? I'm forgetting. My mind has really slipped on this one.
I just said I was going to walk into one, and there it was. But yeah, like or
I
you should
appreciate
really
Pat Fitzgerald.
Appreciate
much
the
so.
Ohio States of the world. You know, the machines that somehow just rip through it. You know, just rip through what we're talking about. I don't think Ohio State. Their radio shows and media corps sit around gnashing their teeth about 11 a.m. kickoffs at Minnesota. You know what I'm saying?
No, they don't. They just say, "Well, let's win this game.
Right.
Let's get to the
Right.
bowl
It's
game.
It's the machine.
Do we get to the playoff this year or not?"
Yeah, and you have to respect that. All I'm saying is you got to respect that at a high level.
Yeah.
Respect what I was doing at a high level. What did we think? We all sat in here, Jake, when Iowa went to Maryland, and what was the big conversation? Ooh, I don't know. I'm tempted to pick Maryland.
We did say that.
All right.
That is true.
Okay, maybe Iowa can win by 4. I don't know though.
We forgot
maybe 3.
We forgot the calendar had flipped to October, where Maryland becomes a ghost.
No. Don't. But you're doing what I'm advocating against. You're not giving Iowa credit. Give Iowa credit.
Why? Because I had just watched them beat a very bad Colorado State team by 10, and they look like crap doing it. That's why. That's exactly why that happened.
But you got to give Iowa credit for going to Maryland and thrashing.
I do give them credit. Sure, I do. That was a great win. They looked great after the first quarter. They looked awesome in that game. Kudos to Iowa. But I also have seen them put up some absolute clunkers that they've won this year. So that's why I had some hesitation on taking them in that game. And Maryland, of course, when September ends, their season's over every year. They just stop playing football. And that was that night. They stopped playing football.
So Trev said to the Andrea Adelson of ESPN that don't worry right now about division titles and Big Ten titles. Just get to relevant and tough first.
Which would be 7-8 wins, which people are going to have to be okay with. Which I think right now, as John said, the caller, we would be okay with because the standards have changed a little bit for a while. It might be temporarily until they prove they can get back to that level of expectation. But when you have missed 4 straight bowl games, you gotta drop your expectations. You have to because they dropped for you. Before we get to break, you see right here I have a $5 bill. If you're watching the Sauter Heyman Jewelers video stream,
what's going on?
That was the bet Rick and I had last week that if Nebraska beat Michigan, if they beat Michigan, which they did not, we had a bet that he said Nebraska would pull down the goalposts. I said they will not. The game, that didn't happen. They didn't win the game, so I'm giving my $5 back.
Yay.
To Rick. I never really had it. It was over here the whole time.
Okay.
And interestingly enough, Harbaugh said after the game, the fans, they wanted to tear down the goalpost.
I saw that.
Where did he hear that?
Oh, he must have been listening to the ticket.
I never heard it on any other show. Did you?
I think Jim Harbaugh listens to Early Break.
I do too.
We found out.
If he does, he's not going to be happy with you.
I called this team a bunch of morons for what they did going into the fourth quarter. Yeah. Sorry, Jim. You know that's true, though. That's the way it's going to be. All right. When we come back, we're going to have Rick Heyman's song of the day. It's Hidden Gems. Hidden Gems time.
Forgotten Gems.
You said Hidden Gems on the email again. Look at your email.
Hey, come on. Jake's in a bad mood.
Forgotten and Hidden Gems.
Hidden Gems is fine.
It's okay.
Forgotten Gems is fine, too.
That's up next on Early Break in the Ticket.
All the fall favorites are back at Bagels and Joe. Try their caramel apple cream cheese on any of their bagels, or pick up some pumpkin chocolate chip muffins or pumpkin spice lattes for the office. And don't forget their delicious breakfast sandwiches and burritos. Bagels and Joe with 4 Lincoln locations.
Building a house today is completely different than it was a year ago. It's great. It's a great time to build a house.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
Interest rates are fantastic. Our lot selection is fantastic. Being a large volume builder like we are, we tend to get very good discounts from our suppliers, which has been very helpful. So if you want to build right now, it's a great time to call, make an appointment, set a budget, sign a contract. You're locked in. I'm locked in. Let's figure out your location. Let's get that lot reserved. It allows you then to have some freedom and room to sell your home for a great profit. In the end, it's going to be a win-win for you.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Dancing at weddings, walking the dog, playing with grandchildren. These are the small moments that make life great. They're also the moments that chronic pain steals from us. Don't let chronic pain stop you or a loved one from living life. At MD Pain, we wrote the book on effective, ethical pain management. We offer the most up-to-date treatments from Nebraska's leading physicians. Don't let pain stand in your way. Call MD Pain.
Another packed fall sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. This month's specials are Sam Adams, Exile Brewing from Iowa, and other fall seasons. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch Crowler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage stop at 1801 O Street. Brokers Insurance Agency is currently hiring full-time and part-time insurance professionals. They will provide you with the training and education to obtain your insurance licenses. Brokers Insurance Agency takes pride in educating clients with the best insurance program to help their clients meet their specific goals. If you're a hard-working, motivated person and would like to discuss a great career opportunity with Brokers Insurance Agency, please call Ken Richards at 402-420-5353 or email service@brokersinsuranceagencyne.com. The team at Brokers Insurance Agency is looking forward to helping you get started with your insurance career.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air's motto is our family serving yours. That starts with how we hire. We go through an extensive interview process to really get to know you and show you who we are. We want to help you build a great career, be challenged, have fun, and bring home an excellent weekly paycheck. We offer competitive wages with benefits, including a day off for your birthday. Apply to be a part of the John Henry's family at jhlincoln.com. That's jhlincoln.com.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket. Sponsored by Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, Tractor Supply Distribution Center, T.O. Haas Tire and Auto, Planet Fitness, Barnwood and Leather, and Vitalize Health. Move over, Jake.
I'm moving. Jeez.
Thursdays are reserved for a man with a wider range of music knowledge than Jake could ever dream of.
Guy should be on Mount Rushmore of famous, fabulous, incredible musicians, singer-songwriters.
A man who knows a good song when he hears it, just as much as a good diamond when he sees it.
You get a diamond.
Yes, I do get a diamond. I get a diamond, and that makes me happy.
It's time for Rick Heyman's Song of the Day, sponsored by Sartor Heyman Jewelers, on Early Break on 93.7 The Ticket.
I take a care of business, woman, can't you see? Gotta make it for you, gotta make it for me. Sometimes it might seem that I've neglected you, but I'd like to spend more time. I got so many things to do. Oh, I got work to do. I got work, baby. I got a gig. I got work to do. Got so much work, yeah. I'm out there trying to make it. Woman, can't you see?
Song of the day, Work to Do by Average White Band. 464-56851 is bad. 10 is good. Text your rating on Rick Heyman's Sartor Heyman Jewelers Song of the Day.
You might as well get used to me coming home a little late. 'Cause I got work to do. I got work, baby. I got a gig. I got work to do. Got so much work, yeah.
Once again, your Song of the Day, Work to Do by Average White Band. 464-56851 is bad. 10 is good. Text your rating on Rick Heyman's Sartor Heyman Jewelers Song of the Day. It's got a good sound to it right there.
Wow. Yeah, that is a
How do you not bob your head to that? You see, I had my whole body grooving over here.
Yes, you did. Forgotten Gem or Hidden Gem?
Forgotten Gems.
Yes.
Forgotten Gems.
Yeah.
Work to Do, Average White Band.
Hey, well, I can help this little tiff we had. That's both forgotten and hidden.
Mm-hmm.
That
It applies to both words, to both descriptions.
Forgotten and hidden. A gem.
Trying
And
to
it is a
cheer you
gem.
guys up this morning. It's a
It's a good song.
grumpy in here.
Yeah, well, it's gonna get more grimy. 8.0. 8.0.
Good.
I like that song. I don't usually go above SIP but I'm going to today.
Yeah.
8.1.
Okay.
It's just it's a good sound.
You went one.
You saw me. I didn't really know that song. I've heard it maybe a couple times in my life. That's why it's a forgotten hidden gem at the same time.
That's right.
But that's I like that. I was grooving to that.
That's the Average White Band.
Average White Band. I got some good trivia.
All right. Well, tell us what it's all about.
Good scores for something you didn't really know. That tells you it's strong. It is great.
Oh, it's interesting that now that you mention it, that's true.
Average White Band, also known as AWB, are a Scottish funk and R&B band that had a series of soul and disco hits between 74 and 80. Excuse me. They are best known for their million-selling instrumental track, Pick Up the Pieces. You've heard that, haven't you?
I'm sure I
Sid?
have. Pick Up the Pieces.
And Cut the Cake, which is also an instrumental with a little bit of singing or verbalizing.
I can't say I've heard those songs.
You have to.
I bet you've heard them.
You've heard both of those.
Okay.
Anyway. Trust me, you have.
Okay, I have.
They are the 15th most sampled act in history. If you know what sampling
I
is.
do know that. I do not know that. What does that mean?
As of 2020, 48 years after their formation.
Sampling.
Sampling means you take a bit of a song, you put it into another song, and then you create a song around it.
Oh.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you. Needed that.
Did I know that?
No, I did.
You did.
I did know that. Needed that tidbit.
They are from Dundee, Scotland. Now,
Dundee.
these guys, the names of these guys is so perfect, the individual names. Roger Ball, Molly Duncan, that's a guy. Robbie McIntosh, Hamish Stewart.
Hamish.
Well, Alex Ligterwood, who we talked about last week, was in this band at one time.
From Santana.
Maury Pleasure, he was in Santana. Anyway, these guys, what are you going to say? They're just phenomenal, musicians, and they were all white guys from Scotland. Go figure.
They were average white guys.
They were, well, I got something about that. McIntyre and McIntosh were both session musicians on Chuck Berry's recording of My Ding-a-Ling. That's a little history for you. You know that song?
I've heard it. Yeah,
My
I've heard that one.
Ding-a-long, Ding-a-ling, My Ding-a-ling. Okay. They started out in 73 with an album that sold poorly. A guy found them. He liked their music, agreed to manage them. He borrowed money to take them to the U.S. and promote them. Okay. Also, AWB, their second record, which this is off of, was known as the White Album. Robbie McIntosh died of a heroin overdose at L.A. on September 23rd, 1974. So the guy never got to experience their great success. This Pick Up the Pieces knocked Linda Ronstadt's You're No Good out of #1 and sold over 1 million copies and was certified as gold.
Do you know that song, Jake?
You're no good. You're
Yes.
no good, baby. You're
It's
no
an
good.
incredible song.
Great
I
song.
might have heard it before.
Yeah, you've heard
Trust me.
I'm sure I've heard it, Ted. Yes, it must be true.
You've heard it. Come on, man. Okay. Come on.
You got to quit doing that.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
They met up after a Traffic concert in England. They decided to jam. A friend heard them and remarked, "This is too much for the average white man." And that's where they came up with the name Average White Band.
Oh, got it.
Elliot Lewis, who, by the way, is
I like it.
Yeah, it's too much for the average white man. It couldn't take it. They were so good. Elliot Lewis is a guy you've never heard of, and you've heard 1 million times. He still to this day, I believe, plays with Daryl Hall and Daryl's House.
Okay.
He's been with Toto. He replaced Hamish Stewart as the high voice guy in this band, which I'll put on my Facebook a couple of their concerts. After this would be like maybe 15 years ago. They're
Okay.
still doing it.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get to Stump the Sippers.
All right, you ready? You've had a rough week of trivia so far, so we got to get this one right.
Yeah.
Set the tone for Shut Up Sipple today.
Sort of a rough weekend.
It's been pretty rough. You're 0-3 on the week.
Yeah, see, he said this time, not me.
I listen. Okay.
0-3.
Are they still touring? Yes or no?
Average White Band? Hell no.
You get a CZ. You're on a roll, baby.
Where are they touring?
All over.
Yeah.
Scotland?
Everywhere.
Okay.
What
Hopefully.
famous? They play in casinos, man. Come on.
Be good.
What famous artist did they break through on tour? They opened up for this guy. This is where they became discovered. Clapton, Winwood, or Genesis.
Okay, so they opened up for this.
They got a
person.
slot
Okay.
as the opening act, and this is where they got discovered. Clapton, Winwood, or Genesis.
I'll say Genesis.
You get another CZ. Eric Clapton.
I was going to guess Clapton. It sounds like more of a Clapton type of vibe.
And Clapton's manager is the one that took him to the United States.
Okay, 0 for 2.
And borrowed the money, by the way, to get him there.
Last chance, Sip.
How many original members are still in the band? 3, 4, or 2?
3, 4, or 2? 3.
3 CZs.
Oh, God.
He is so bad. 2.
Just said the words.
The trivia
He is so bad.
The trivia has turned
This week
against
is
you.
bad. And what band wrote this song originally? The Brothers Johnson, the Isley Brothers, or Earth, Wind, and Fire? 1972 hit. Brothers Johnson, Isley Brothers, or Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
4 CZs. Isleys. The Isleys.
The Isleys. All right, Rick, what's going on right now at Sauter Heyman Jewelers?
Man, we are rocking and rolling. We're having a great month. You got to get in and look at our sparkly diamonds. We got a special coming up in about a week and a half. Go on our website, check it out. We got the Gem Hunter coming in for 2 days.
Whoa,
1 day in
Gem
Grand
Hunter.
Island. It's amazing. He's like Crocodile Dundee. This guy is incredible. Goes all over the world, finds gems, brings them in, and sells them. He'll be at South Point on the 28th. Go check out our website at SauterHeyman.com. Check us out on Facebook at Sauter Heyman. Go check out my personal page, Rick Heyman, on Facebook. I'll put some more goodies about this band and some of their music there.
All right.
Well,
Thank you, Rick.
thanks for the time. We will talk with you again next week.
Better luck later.
All right.
Say it.
Bye-bye.
There it is. Top of the hour with Mike Schaefer next on Early Break on the Ticket.
We're going to get out of
Last thing before break, guys, it's getting darker and colder outside every day. That means your time playing golf, tennis, whatever you do outside is getting limited, but you can always find things to do inside, including craft axe throwing in Lincoln. They're open 7 days a week from 4 to 9 p.m. on Monday through Thursday, from noon to 11 on Friday, Saturday, and from noon to 9 on Sunday. Parties and events are welcome anytime. For more information, call them at 402-802-9696 or go to craftaxethrowing.com. That's Craft Axe Throwing, 18th and N in Lincoln.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. 93.7 The Ticket. Fox, KFXL Weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
A chilly morning, but with a decent amount of sunshine. We'll see an afternoon high approaching 65. Winds will be much calmer out of the northwest at 10. Clouds, though, thicken this evening into tonight. We could even see a few scattered showers. A low down to around 43. Decreasing cloud cover tomorrow, but cooler with a high of 61. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Mike Shaver here for Trek CBD. There's a lot of CBD shops opening up in Lincoln, but Trek CBD focuses on quality above all else. Their products are from local CBD company Nico Farms and are third-party laboratory tested. They have products that can help with stress, anxiety, pain, relief, and more, and have a wide selection of Delta 8, including Serene 8. Trek CBD is locally owned and operated. Go visit Scott or Shannon at their 84th and Highway 2 location or at 27th and S, or go online to Trek CBD with free delivery. Trek CBD. CBD done right.
At MD Pain, we know chronic pain is a problem. It can lead to isolation, depression, and the inability for you or a loved one to live the life you want. That doesn't need to happen. Chronic pain can be effectively managed. The doctors of MD Pain wrote the book on effective, ethical pain management. Get actual solutions with the most up-to-date, clinically proven treatment options available. No one has to suffer in silence. Get real treatment for chronic pain. Call MD Pain.
Have you been to Barn Wood and Leather, that new furniture store in Lincoln? It's a whole new look. If you like country, you'll love Barn Wood and Leather. It's country with a kick. Rustic, yet contemporary. Handcrafted in America from historic reclaimed barnwood and the finest leather. Create your own one-of-a-kind look for a room or your whole home. Come see for yourself at Barn Wooden Leather, South 14th and Dahlberg. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5.
The weather has changed, and now it's time to adjust your footwear to change along with it. Stop into Brown's Shoe Fit at 66th and Q to get ready for cooler temperatures and fashion trends. They're stocked with Hey Dudes, Brooks, New Balance, Danner boots, Keen or Merrill hiking boots, and plenty of other options. Plus, they have Nordic beach jackets and Bindle tumblers to take to the gym with your new athletic shoes. So get to Brown's Shoe Fit today at 66th and Q.
Brokers Insurance Agency is currently hiring full-time and part-time insurance professionals. They will provide you with the training and education to obtain your insurance licenses. Brokers Insurance Agency takes pride in educating clients with the best insurance program to help their clients meet their specific goals. If you're a hardworking, motivated person and would like to discuss a great career opportunity with Brokers Insurance Agency, please call Ken Richards at 402-420-5353 or email service@brokersinsuranceagencyne.com. The team at Brokers Insurance Agency is looking forward to helping you get started with your insurance career. Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill has been your go-to in South Lincoln for years, and their second location in downtown Lincoln is now open. Rosie's downtown spot is Lincoln's premier Nebraska party bar with the Sidetrack Band every Friday night of home games and all day for Nebraska home football games. With 34 TVs that are 65 inches or bigger, you'll always have a great view for all the games. Make sure to check out the new Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, now open in downtown Lincoln at 10th and P.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns. It was a tough week for local Class A football teams in Lincoln. Lincoln Northeast lost to Creighton Prep 48-10. Lincoln High also lost to Kearney 34-14. Lincoln East fell in a tight contest against North Platte 41-38. Lincoln Pius beat by Omaha North 40-21. Lincoln Southwest fell this week to Papillion La Vista 28-7. Outside of Class A, Norris had a big win over Crete, 48-7. Lincoln Christian won with a large margin of victory, 57-14. Lincoln Lutheran also won this week over Bishop Newman, 30-17. In volleyball on Monday, Fresno State commit Shaylee Myers had a monster game for Lincoln Southwest on senior night. She would finish the game with 21 kills to help sweep Lincoln East in 3 sets. Her 21-kill game set a new school record. They sit number 3 in the power rankings as playoffs get closer. This has been your High School Minute, sponsored by Southeast Community College, with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford. Learn more today at southeast.edu.
Wake up, Lincoln.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine, rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
And the Lincoln Journal-Star's Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake, sponsored by Gaina Trucking.
Welcome back to Hour 2 on a Thursday. Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, Early Break. I'd say it's been a surly show so far. We've had some fireworks to hear. We'll tell you about what that. We'll get back to that in a second.
Wasn't that surly, really?
Anytime the name Pat Fitzgerald gets mentioned here, there's one side and another side that we are both on.
Here's the deal, and we don't need to get. We can talk about this in civil tones. I think when I went out to my truck to get that card for you, it kind of dawned on me, like I did some introspection of why I get so angry about it. And we're not going to have we're not having an angry discussion. I'm just going to tell you where I'm coming from on Fitzgerald. I think I get angry by the amount of grace you extend him because of your unwillingness to extend that to Nebraska coaches.
Well,
and now I know you're going to say because they have their academic restrictions.
No, because he's won 2 division titles the last 3 years. He deserves all the grace he can get because he's done it. He's won titles. I mean, I don't know what else I can say about that. Is it pretty all the time? No. Is Iowa pretty all the time? No. They've won 2 out of 3 division titles. He has earned plenty of grace for himself there at Northwestern.
Right. I mean, he's 63 and 62 in the Big Ten. I mean,
that's what Scott Frost in the Big Ten.
Well, that's what I mean, though.
He's 1-2.
Well, we're talking every week about Fire and Frost. I mean,
Well, he hasn't won 2 out of 3 division titles, has he?
Right.
Mike Schaefer is with us.
That's what it is, though.
What did I walk into?
Nothing.
Well, every
What's up, Pat Fitzgerald?
every once in a while, Sip likes to bash Pat
I don't
Fitzgerald, and I
bash
try
him.
to
I
say
just don't understand the grace he receives. Like, I mean, they're about to. What have they won 2 so far this year?
yes, they've won 2. They beat Ohio and they beat somebody else.
And they're going to go probably 3-9 for the second
And
time.
they went 3-9 2 years ago and
Right.
won the division the next year after winning the division the year before that.
I
don't know what to say.
I guess the anger I feel toward you on this is just because of that. Your willingness to push Nebraska coaches out the door that are.
I didn't push Frost out the door. I said I want Frost.
Pliny.
Again, you speak words to me that we weren't on the air at that point. You don't know what I said back then. You can't speak to me 7 years ago.
I get it. It's
I don't know that I want to speak to Jake from 7 years ago.
It is what it is. It's fine. That's what I'm
He's
saying.
staring daggers at you right now. This is a little uncomfortable.
No, it's not uncomfortable.
It's weird for me to be in this spot because normally I'm the one stirring the pot a little bit.
Yeah. You're like, what's going
throwing
on?
some
What I walked
punches.
into here?
And instead, I'm like sitting here. I'm like,
No,
I
there's
don't know,
not.
It's cold outside. It's colder
No,
in
we're
here.
just trying to get to the root of that.
Well, where
situation.
do you stand on Pat Fitzgerald? Again, knowing that he's won 2 of 3 division titles as he's having a crap year this year. Let's make sure it's well known.
I generally think that he is overhyped in terms of his coaching acumen. I mean, I get like he's had a couple successful years here. The
Division
further we
titles.
get from 2020, the more I kind of want to throw a lot of those, like teams like Indiana and Iowa State and a lot of ones that had sort of like the great out of nowhere year have turned into pumpkins. Northwestern's a pumpkin from last year.
But they won the division.
Yeah, I get it.
2 years
I get it,
prior.
Jacob. Just stop with that for a second.
I'm just got to defend him.
He's been the coach of Northwestern for how long?
30
years. Since like 06, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah,
15 years?
Yeah, so he has a couple division titles in
06,
there.
that's right. Yeah.
And again, that's good. That's good for Northwestern. I don't know that those results would be considered good for a different program in the same conference. You know, like if you put him at Nebraska and you have 2 division titles since 2006.
Yeah, I'm
and
telling
with the
you, he's
same
fired.
coach, he wouldn't be here.
That's what I'm saying, Jake. And again, I'm not. We're having a civil discussion. He would be
So now I'm getting the daggers staring at me.
No.
No, it's a multiple dagger. It's 2 daggers here.
You would have fired him at Nebraska.
Northwestern, as we all know, is a very hard place to win. Very tough.
Oh.
There's academic standards there. They don't really have, Gary Barnett had some success there, of course.
Keep it civil.
Randy Walker was doing all right there, but it's not an easy place to win.
You would have fired that coach at Nebraska. The coach that you exalt, you would have fired at Nebraska.
If his results were the exact same from 2006 on, which it'd be hard to say that they would be because we don't really know.
Yeah.
Like we don't know what Pat Fitzgerald would do in this job. We don't. I just tend to feel like people really hold him in high regard, and I am not one of those individuals.
It's hard.
I don't
to.
think he's a bad.
It's hard
coach.
to.
I don't think he should be fired from Northwestern.
No, I don't either.
I just don't like. If I was making a list of like,
obviously.
I'd really like to see this guy in Nebraska. Pat Fitzgerald isn't exactly someone that flies up to the top for me because
of what I saw a couple weeks ago is one reason.
I mean,
You're going to let one time define his whole era at Northwestern.
No, it's not that.
And that's the worst game that Northwestern, or one of the worst games Northwestern had.
Yeah.
So
Like, if you're going to be so critical from that game, then you got to at least give him credit for his previous years.
Yeah, why are we having this? I brought it up again.
He brought it back up. That's
1-8.
why. I was trying to move on.
Jake is feisty this morning. Also, when you started the show
He had a
saying it
rough
was
day yesterday.
early, I didn't know if you had some sort of deal with, that
No, it wasn't
beer
Rick.
up in Minneapolis.
No. Oh, yeah. Nice.
See, I was like, oh, wow, that's a nice tie-in.
Well, at least we got to the
Surly
root of
Brewing.
it, though. We got to the root of it. You would have fired that coach at Nebraska, and you would have vehemently fired him.
I don't know.
Yes.
I can't speak to myself from 7 years ago on Bo Pelini, but I know that there's other reasons why people wanted him
I
out.
know what I can speak to.
Forget
7
that.
years ago, Nebraska was right to move on from Bo Pelini.
Yeah, forget that. Forget
Mike
the Pelini
Riley was
discussion.
19 and 19. Again, that was 3 years, though, in a program that actually inherited a good program.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's not. I think we got to the root of it, and I think you'd agree with me, actually, on that, right?
I'd be curious what a coach like Pat Fitzgerald would do if he was at Nebraska.
But you would probably agree with me if the same record was 3-9, COVID year 7-2, and now you're 3-9 2 years ago. And now you're staring at probably 3-9 at best. 2 out of the last 3 years, you don't survive that at Nebraska.
I mean, the current coach doesn't survive what he's survived at Nebraska either. So we have to be like at least somewhat acknowledging that if you're asking for grace, and you're asking for grace specifically for the person sitting in this current chair, he's received a ton of
And this is, I get it. And this is
so
also.
I don't know if I want to do the Frost Fitzgerald.
No, I don't want to do that either.
But
this
just
is
someone
historic.
with Fitzgerald's record at Nebraska would not have, or Fitzgerald's record at Northwestern transposed to the same exact thing at Nebraska would not have lasted since 2006.
I'm going to dig myself a deeper hole here.
Okay, please keep
Yeah,
digging.
this is
Go
going to be a
ahead.
deeper hole.
Dig deep.
This is probably a product of covering a program that fired two. I always call Solich a 10-win coach because his program won 10 that year. And then, doing it again and then having members of the fan base argue for Pat Fitzgerald, who's now staring at 3-win seasons in 2 of the last 3 years. It's probably that. It's probably some PTSD that way, that it's, and you guys are young, so it doesn't even apply to you because you weren't around,
I was 16
Right.
when Frank Solich was
Right.
fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
wasn't covering the
aware.
team, but
I was cognizant.
Yeah.
I was
just very aware.
I was
of
12. I
Nebraska
remember the whole
football.
situation. It was a weird day. After they beat Colorado, it was very bizarre that day. Press conference and everything.
But you see why I find it bizarre that you're arguing for a guy that's about to go 3-9 2 of the last 3 years. But you got to move on from the guy that wins 10. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Division titles. This is why. See, if Fitzgerald won 6 games with the other 2 years, okay, I get why you might talk about fire how he's bad, but he backed it up with 2 division titles. With division title crap. We talked about Mark D'Antonio a couple years ago. He went 3-9. Next year he bounced back and have 10, 11 wins. And they bounced right back.
All right, I think we can move on.
Yeah, you know what I need right now? This hour, by the way, is sponsored by Trek CBD. I could use some right now. I could use some CBD.
You need to relax a little bit.
Yeah. Tell us, what can we get at Trek CBD, Schaefer, real quick?
They have all sorts of products. You can get edibles, you can get oils, you can get all sorts of things there that would calm you down if you find yourself in a stressful situation. If you're in a tense argument with a friend and neither side seems to be giving in,
I'm not giving in.
Maybe both of you could just take an edible, spend find a nice conversation for 30 minutes or so, and then let it kick in and recede a little bit.
Let's see what's on the rundown here.
Yes.
So that's what you can find at Trek CBD. There's 2 locations in town.
Oh.
And plenty of great products there. Scott, Shannon, they will not lead you wrong.
27
They have so much knowledge. They've been in this business for a long time. Whatever it is that you're looking for, you can find there at Trek CBD.
27th and S and 84th and Highway 2. What do you got?
A more pleasurable conversation.
Okay, hang on. I got a text we got to get to before I get to that. This is a pleasurable. This one's interesting. I got a text.
This is a pleasurable.
This is a text I received at the end of the first hour that I think is a great conversation. I want to hear what you guys think about this, and then we'll get to whatever you want to talk about. Okay. Someone says this.
Very dismissive.
I've been listening to the texter says this. I've been listening to people talking about how great Iowa is this season. Here's a topic for debate. What would be the bigger upset? A 4 or 5 loss in unranked Nebraska beating number 2 Iowa, or number 2 Iowa beating number 1 Georgia? What's the bigger upset?
Oh, number 2 Iowa would be number.
Isn't that weird though?
Yes.
Isn't that crazy? A 4 or 5
That's
loss.
what I'm saying, Schaefer.
Yeah, I immediately agree with you, if only because I think the difference between Nebraska and Iowa is pretty minuscule, and the difference between, in my head, Iowa and Georgia,
It's in our heads.
it's really large.
It's in our heads, but
It's
I mean,
really
let's
large.
face it.
Think about that. You're showing how big that gap is between 1 and 2 in the nation.
Well, now that it goes beyond that. Nebraska's played Iowa close the last 3 years. Okay. And Georgia's defensive line is such a Schaefer. How many points would Iowa score on Georgia?
Well, that's the thing. Like
3.
Iowa's number 2,
Yeah,
and
I
Happer
know.
and I have this conversation almost every day, and I just don't understand how they win games. There's nothing statistically they do on offense that makes any sense. I don't know that but I don't know that you can live by turning over every team 5
Special teams.
times.
Special
You can't
teams.
bank on the quarterback getting hurt in the second quarter when you're down 17-3 and then coming back and winning that game.
It's
Like,
not just defense, so it's special teams.
Sure. they are as incomplete on offense of a top 5 team as you're going to find in the country. And I just don't know how sustainable that is. Now, in a year in which the Big Ten West feels pretty meh, they're going to get a long runway there.
We're going to find out it's pretty sustainable,
And,
I think.
they beat Penn State. Like, they came back and they won that game. And so they deserve credit for
Isn't there an easy answer to this? We're going to find out it's pretty sustainable until they get to Indy and play Ohio State.
Yeah, well, I mean, we
Isn't
know
that what's gonna- is
there's
that-
almost no way they don't get to Indy right now.
Right.
I mean, they would have to Wisconsin would have to dramatically start playing better, and Iowa would have to lose probably 3 games.
Do you know who's beaten Iowa 2 of the last 3 years?
Northwestern?
Purdue, yeah, that Purdue. Yeah.
That's who they have.
And they haven't played him yet.
Yeah.
That's this week again.
That's this week.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's this week.
The bromance is back.
You know the weirdest box
Jet Bro.
score? You guys want a weird box score?
Please.
Go look at Purdue, Minnesota from 2 weeks ago and tell me how Purdue only scored 13 points in that game. Their quarterback threw for 351 yards. A Purdue running back had like over 100 yards rushing or
Wow,
near
that's
100 yards
odd.
rushing, which is very weird.
Who was that?
I don't know.
King Daru. Is he still out there?
Yeah, he's there.
And they only scored 13 points in this game. I do not understand it. And I don't even think Minnesota's defense is that good. So it's a weird.
Probably some turnovers there involved.
But I think
Reds, they missed field goals. Schaefer was their
Hold
field
on.
goal.
There was 1 missed field goal, and Aiden O'Connell had 1 interception. And
That's it?
Yeah, I think there might have been a fumble
Here we
in there,
go.
but
There's got to be more turnovers
it
or
was
field goals.
It was insane looking at that box score. Like it just felt like they must have drove into the 40 and then stalled out every time.
It is strange. Purdue had 28 first downs. Minnesota had 12.
Minnesota won the game.
Turnovers.
20-13.
Turnovers. Purdue had 2. Minnesota had 0.
Jeez, what they didn't have they didn't have a bunch of turnovers, just 2.
Penalties. Purdue 3. Minnesota 4.
I didn't watch that game. I don't know how. that
I
happened.
mean, you shouldn't have.
Thank you. Okay. Well, yeah.
And I didn't watch it. I had it on a TV, but it was like not one I was paying attention.
Purdue had 450 yards. Minnesota 294.
And they lost 20-13. It's weird.
Corey says that game wasn't an abomination to the game of football.
Yeah, well, there you go.
There you go. Minnesota, Purdue. That's what they do, though.
Well, and so, I was going back through and as you do when Nebraska plays an opponent, you look at who they played and you look at how they've been playing recently. Nebraska is going to get a weird Minnesota team on Saturday where it can go a multitude of different ways.
Okay.
But if Nebraska shows up as they have over the past 6 weeks now, there's an opportunity for them to put Minnesota away pretty early in this game. I do think that. The questions I have with Nebraska aren't so much what it's more of a physical, like they're in their 8th straight week. And that's a long run for anybody. That's as many games as they played last year. And they missed the Wisconsin week. So they played 8 games in 9 weeks. From a physical standpoint, I am a little worried about it because you're coming off of a Michigan team that just beats the hell out of you.
Yeah.
And
They
so
sure do. We saw that.
I do think that there is a little concern that, if Minnesota had their full running game, I would be a lot more concerned about Nebraska's.
Yep.
About
The third string
Nebraska's
running back.
defensive line and their front 7, because by the end of that game, they were getting creased pretty good.
Yep.
They were getting moved around. And that's Minnesota, that's Michigan.
Yeah.
That's Michigan.
And
So that's
Michigan
a
ran
difference.
81 plays next.
And Michigan's 2 running backs. I mean, you want to talk about the biggest difference for me with Nebraska and Michigan? Nebraska's running backs don't run near as hard as those 2 guys. And I don't mean that as an insult to Ramir Johnson because he had a great day.
He runs pretty hard, Shafe.
Blake,
Corum
did
and
you see
Haskins
Blake
are-
Corum?
Yeah.
It takes 19 guys, which isn't even legal to have on the field, Sybil.
He's a
to
little
tackle
tough.
Blake
He's a
Corum.
tough
He's a tough dude. and
That
so
guy
is-
gets knocked
so
off
is
balance
Haskins.
and
Yeah.
still gets 5 yards
Yeah,
going
he's
forward.
a fighter.
I could not believe how good they were.
Yeah, they're
in
good.
terms of good
I
is maybe
agree
the
with
wrong word. They just scrap and fight for
Yeah.
every single
Yep.
like those goal line plays
Yeah.
that Nebraska was getting them stopped short, and how hard and how many guys just took to
Second and
just
third
corral
effort, man.
them.
Yeah.
I'd feel a
They're
lot
push
better
forward.
about this Minnesota game if the quarters were 10 minutes.
Shorten the game, baby. Shorten that game.
Well,
right.
Minnesota they do like to shorten games. So
Well, but I'm for Nebraska's sake, though. I'm talking about for Nebraska.
yeah.
A shorter game, I think they'd have a better chance.
Yeah, I mean, if Nebraska doesn't have to play the final 4 minutes of a game, they're going to win a lot more games.
Yeah, that would help.
Well,
I read
yeah.
this incredible stat that Parker sent me last night. Hold on, Schaefer. Hold on. This is troubling, but it's real, so we put it out there. Under Frost, Nebraska's got the ball with under 4 minutes to play and either tied or down one score 16 times. They've scored a grand total of 3 points, 3 points, and 1 once.
It's so painful.
I don't get that.
No, that's been going around. There's a Twitter
Okay.
user. We talked about it on our show. There's a Twitter user named Eric that has like a chart that he puts together each week. And his is a little different standard, but it's basically Nebraska's last possession of the game. And Nebraska has scored 11 points since 2018 in their final possession of a game in which they trail by 1 score or it's tied. 1 out of 15 times have they won that game.
What's going on there?
Well, I mean,
multitudes
you
of
have-
things.
You have an unconventional offense that's forced to play in a conventional manner, usually in that regard. You have an unconventional quarterback forced to play in a conventional manner, usually in that regard. Nebraska doesn't, people were doing this, like once they saw that, then people wanted to go through and look at Tommy Armstrong and Taylor Martinez. And the difference there for me is like when you have an Amir Abdullah, he won you the McNeese State game.
He did.
He
No doubt
essentially
about that.
won you the Northwestern
Yeah, he
game
did.
by getting the first down when he was, on a dump off pass on 4th and 12 or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's some aspects of it where it gets put a lot on Adrian, but like he hasn't had some guys that just make plays. The thing that's troubling is that they haven't even had like the one time where a team's just in bad coverage and you catch them. Like that doesn't even happen for Nebraska. And I think part of it is that Adrian doesn't like to use the middle of the field. He's bad at it. Last week against Michigan on a crosser, what did he do? He threw high. What has he done his whole career against the middle of the field? He throws high. And so that's always hard when teams are giving you the middle because they're protecting the sidelines. You don't have any timeouts. They don't want you to get out of bounds. So they're giving you the middle of the field. And that's not where Adrian wants to throw. And so I do think like there's just certain things in there where Nebraska is not a very good team when they're trailing and it's late because they don't conventionally have the offense to go score.
Yeah.
And they talk all the time about how they work on their 2-minute offense, and I'm sure they do. But when you just don't have the sort of pieces that slide right in there, and you watch all these NFL games or even some college games where there's 50 some seconds left and a team at the 25 can end up at the other 25 in 3 plays. Nebraska can't do that. They're just conventionally not set up that way.
Yeah. Some of this discussion, you can overanalyze it a little bit, like turnovers. Bad teams turn it over a lot. Nebraska's been minus in turnovers forever. Why is that, Sip? What's the deal? What goes into that? Well, it's not very good. Some of it just comes down to that. Bad teams turn the ball over a lot. Not that Nebraska's been bad, but they've been pretty subpar in the last few years. And subpar teams don't close well. I mean, some of it comes down to that. But also it is a huge part of the discussion is I harp on it all the time, but it's just a fact. You alluded to it. If you have first round talent, you have guys that make plays at the end of games. Nebraska hasn't had first round talent. It did have second round talent in Amir.
Day 2 or 3 talent.
Right,
I
exactly.
mean, there's not a ton of it on
Right.
that offense.
Amir was a second round talent, borderline first round talent, and he made plays at the end of games to get you wins. Real wins, real plays. But if you don't have that guy to make those plays at the end, it's that much harder. You don't have those guys. The team that does have those guys is going to probably prevail, right? Because those guys make those plays at the end. If you had a big time receiver, if you had a big time receiver, your chances escalated in the last 2 minutes.
And
right?
if your offense is set up in a manner to, if you have a West Coast offense, you're more likely to be good at that than you are where Nebraska's offense. Think of how they scored every touchdown last week. Like as good as their offense can be, it relies real heavily on out scheming you, chaining plays together, some gadget plays in there. And you're just not going to do that with 57 seconds left in the ball. Like that's just not, you can't.
No, it's hard to do that.
Adrian had an unbelievably beautiful throw to Ramir Johnson along the sidelines that was set up earlier in the game based on the formation and what they were running. And you do a double play fake and he leaks out on a wheel route and he hits it and it's perfect. But you're not running that with 57 seconds. That's where Adrian has to hit Levi Falk on that second down.
throw.
And it wasn't like that was a tough throw, but it's just not one that
you're
he's
making
good at.
sense. You're making sense. It really gets basic down in the red zone.
Well, in the red zone, it gets basic, and then in the 2 minute drill,
the 2
it
minute
gets
drill,
basic.
yeah.
And when it gets basic, Nebraska gets bad. I mean, they're just
I think it's more of a red zone discussion.
It's red zone's a problem.
Yeah,
well,
I think
sure.
I think it's more of a red zone discussion to me in terms of getting basic.
Yeah, in both situations, though, your playbook, you're not getting really multiple.
No, it shrinks. Your playbook shrinks, is what we're saying.
You're going to 5 or 6.
It shrinks. Your playbook shrinks in that situation.
Yeah, Nebraska has certainly had issues in the red zone, but yeah, we didn't get the chance to see that against Michigan to end the game. But yeah, I'm curious if that Falk catch is made, if that throws on the money. We're talking about.
I haven't gone back and watched. People said he could run for probably.
Yeah, he could. It would not have been a touchdown. It would have been for sure field goal range.
You get to the 35 is what people said, and then you still have about 30 some seconds.
Still have time.
Yeah,
field goal range. Oh.
What ifs? The thing that Nebraska specializes in since 1999.
Horrifying.
If you have any questions for Mike Schaefer, please call or text 464-5685. More next on Early Break in the Ticket.
All the fall favorites are back at Bagels & Joe. Try their caramel apple cream cheese on any of their bagels, or pick up some pumpkin chocolate chip muffins or pumpkin spice lattes for the office. And don't forget their delicious breakfast sandwiches and burritos. Bagels & Joe with 4 Lincoln locations.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
At MD Pain, we know chronic pain is a problem. It can lead to isolation, depression, and the inability for you or a loved one to live the life you want. That doesn't need to happen. Chronic pain can be effectively managed. The doctors of MD Pain wrote the book on effective, ethical pain management. Get actual solutions with the most up-to-date, clinically proven treatment options available. No one has to suffer in silence. Get real treatment for chronic pain. Call MD Pain.
Mike Schaefer here for Trek CBD. There's a lot of CBD shops opening up in Lincoln, but Trek CBD focuses on quality above all else. Their products are from local CBD company Nico Farms and are third-party laboratory tested. They have products that can help with stress, anxiety, pain, relief, and more, and have a wide selection of Delta 8, including Serene 8. Trek CBD is locally owned and operated. Go visit Scott or Shannon at their 84th and Highway 2 location or at 27th and S, or go online to Trek CBD with free delivery. Trek CBD. CBD done right.
The dangers of secondhand smoke are well known. But what about secondhand aerosol, which is created when using e-cigarettes? Science already shows a secondhand aerosol can contain nicotine, heavy metals, and cancer-causing agents. Eliminating exposure to secondhand aerosol is an important step to keeping everyone safe. Breathe easier knowing the facts.
For help quitting, call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
The weather has changed, and now it's time to adjust your footwear to change along with it. Stop into Brown's Shoe Fit at 66th and Q to get ready for cooler temperatures and fashion trends. They're stocked with Hey Dudes, Brooks, New Balance, Danner boots, Keen or Merrill hiking boots, and plenty of other options. Plus, they have Nordic beach jackets and Bindle tumblers to take to the gym with your new athletic shoes. So get to Brown's Shoe Fit today at 66th and Q.
Have you been to Barn Wood & Leather, that new furniture store in Lincoln? It's a whole new look. If you like country, you'll love Barn Wood & Leather. It's country with a kick. Rustic, yet contemporary. Handcrafted in America from historic reclaimed barnwood and the finest leather. Create your own one-of-a-kind look for a room or your whole home. Come see for yourself at Barn Wood & Leather, South 14th and Dahlberg. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5.
Toys and sports collectibles, 6200 Havelock Avenue.
Hi, I'm Kevin with Sports Fantastic.
And I'm Daryl at Stop and Shop Funko Pop.
We have two of the best collectible stores in the coolest place in Lincoln, in historic Havelock by Misty's. Sports Fantastic has tons of sports memorabilia for Huskers and other hard-to-find teams.
And Stop and Shop Funko Pop has all your Funko and anime needs. It's your one-stop shop on one block at 6200 Havelock.
6200 Havelock Avenue.
Join the revolution with Jim and Trav this week as Kurt Wells from Bowhunter Magazine and host of Bowhunter TV recounts his recent elk hunt where he arrowed a massive 7x9 bull. Then Alan Probst from North American Trapper walks us through trapping rules, regulations, and tips that will make us more proficient fur bearers. Finally, Cat Daddy gets us up to speed and ready for the fall catfishing frenzy. The revolution is presented by Outdoor Channel, Sportsman Channel, World Fishing Network, and My Outdoor TV. Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Lincoln's Ticket to Sports.
Anybody who knows me knows I was cocky out of the womb.
Is Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you have any questions for Mike Schaefer, please call or text 464-5685. This hour is sponsored by Trek CBD, 2 locations in Lincoln, 27th and S and 84th and Highway 2 for all your CBD needs. And Delta 8 and Delta 10, go to Trek CBD. I had this on the rundown from earlier. We didn't get to this, though. What?
I just oohed.
Oh, I said boom. Okay.
I can boo. Boo.
Okay.
Don't boo.
As we assess this current team, do you see any guys that are potentially all Big Ten level, and anybody that you think for sure is going to the NFL on this team?
Okay, that's two different discussions.
Yeah, very different.
Let's do all Big Ten first.
We'll start with some guys that I feel like are all Big Ten.
Okay.
And I'm going to be in
plural.
Damian Daniels is an all Big Ten player.
First team?
Yeah, like if you're watching these games right now in Big Ten play, like Damian Daniels wrecked Michigan State. Damian Daniels was great against Michigan.
Okay.
Those are 2 of the best teams that they played in the conference. Those are 2 top 10 teams right now. I'm assuming he's going to play well against Minnesota and Purdue. He's going to get another chance against the good teams in Ohio State and Iowa. But Damian Daniels is playing.
He's having
really
a good year.
well.
He's having a good
Now,
year.
the problem with Damian Daniels is not like his statistics are going to be good.
21 tackles.
So you actually need people who watch and see what he's doing and all the spills that he's giving to the linebackers. And then I think JoJo Doman's going to be an all Big Ten player as well.
He's got to be close. JoJo's got to be close. And I would say JoJo's probably closer than Damian Daniels. Now, I don't know exactly what Damian Daniels is up against in the league.
Well, and then it's hard
tackles.
because he's a nose tackle. And then do they do 5 down linemen and 4 linebackers, or do they do,
But JoJo makes a lot of sense. So we can't sell you Deontay Williams.
Deontay Williams could be like a second team or an honorable mention. I mean, he's played pretty well.
Can I sell you Luke Reimer?
Garrett Nelson has played well. Luke Reimer has played well. These guys are all going to be on the fringe of things. If Nebraska wins some games, and the other thing is they need to take the ball away.
I'll tell you something.
Turnovers,
To make these lists, you probably need to get a few more takeaways.
So
JoJo Doman's going to be on there because he has an interception, some forced fumbles, some sacks, some TFLs.
People are going, what about Cam Taylor-Britt right now? People are.
He had the best game of his season.
He played well.
Might have had the best game of
that,
his career.
He played very well against Michigan.
He might have had the best game of his career.
I feel like the Purdue game from last year, given how good their receivers were, his one-handed interception, the deflections he had in that game. I would go with that. But in a huge spot, multiple times, he had big pass breakups that could have easily flipped a game early on. He knocked a touchdown away that turned into a field goal, I'm pretty sure. And he came
from nowhere to make a third down stop.
Well, and his run support was really
right.
good.
That's what I was talking about.
He had a very good game Saturday.
Gino's writing in right now. Gino wonders about Nick Henrich.
Another guy that,
fringe player there, fringe of Big Ten.
All of those linebackers like Nelson, Henrich, Reimer, I think you could make cases for them, but they have to create more disruptive plays. Like Nelson is in the best spot because he has 8 tackles for a loss. I don't think he had 1 against Michigan. If he goes and he gets 2 against, Minnesota and Purdue each, and he's at 12 tackles for, that's a really high number in in Nebraska's program. If he goes over, I think it's, if he has 13 tackles for a loss, only 5 players have done that since 2013 for Nebraska. So, there's no, and all of those guys were all Big Ten players. So, there's some opportunities out there for guys, but they need more disruptive plays. They need takeaways, or they need TFLs, or they need sacks.
The good news is some of these guys are down the road. Like Reimer, you could definitely see becoming an all Big Ten player. He's only
And
a
it might happen
sophomore.
as early as this year.
Yeah. Ty Robinson's another guy. You could see that happening down the line, redshirt freshman right now. So they have some guys in the system that Quentin Newsom's another guy that you could see maybe evolving in that
Quentin
direction.
Newsom's been a breakout guy for me this year. I mean,
Yeah.
he's really held his own on the other side of the field. He plays great in run coverage. He gets beat every now and then as corners do, but I think he's played pretty well. As someone who's getting challenged a fair amount because people don't want to always go at Cam Taylor-Britt. And so it's been a nice, I mean, Ty Robinson has emerged lately. He had the big sack against Michigan. I mean, he's played pretty well. Like, they're getting contributions from a lot of these guys in that 2019 class that's making up the backbone of your future defense.
Switch
And
over to
so
offense.
There's a
Well,
lot
I
of
just want to,
excitement.
if you had to guess an offense right now, what team would Adrian be on, first, second, or third for all Big Ten?
Probably second.
Who's first?
It'll end up being Stroud. Because he's going to put up insane numbers.
Yeah.
They've kind of figured something out there.
Who would
And he has the benefit of, oh, here's Garrett Wilson. Here's a 12-yard pass that's turning into 72
Yep.
yards. Like,
See ya.
You know,
You want me
that's
to start- you want me to start something here?
Yeah, please do.
How about the second team quarterback being Petrus?
I mean, he was 1 of 9 at one point
I'm
on Saturday.
No,
with an
he
interception.
can't make any all Big Ten.
I would actually enjoy if the Big Ten voted the guy who's leading one of the worst offensive efficiency
It won't
teams
happen.
in the country for an all Big Ten quarterback.
It depends on the injury to Clifford, how long he's out for, but it's
Clifford.
got to be
Yeah.
Stroud, Martinez, Clifford, right?
Right.
Or maybe you could even rotate.
Everyone else
Clifford,
has largely
Martinez.
been kind of pushed out the door. I mean, there's the quarterback
Say that
playing
again?
the quarterback playing the conference has tanked a little bit. I mean, McNamara and Thorne are going to be hanging around too.
Yeah.
Thorne has maybe the best chance because
Yeah.
his team throws more.
Mhm.
And outside of that
Yeah,
one
Thorne,
duck
yeah.
against Nebraska, he's played pretty well.
Yeah, there's
That's
no
true.
But I don't view him as like a first team all big. Like, he's probably third team.
This conversation is going to evolve. There's a lot of season left.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing: if Nebraska goes and takes care of business against Minnesota and Purdue,
Mhm.
and they play like they did against Northwestern, you're going to have more stats and more opportunity to prove that you belong in the upper echelon of the conference, which is, you can argue based on how tight you played teams like Michigan and Michigan State that maybe you do, but you have to go take care of the bad teams.
Okay. Austin Allen.
No.
Not any of the first
He's
two
got-
teams.
He's got what, 1 touchdown this season. He has only a handful of games with about 5 catches.
He had
I
6
think
against
his-
Oklahoma, right? 6 catches
Yeah.
against Oklahoma.
So he's got how
Hold
many
on.
games over 60 yards? Like, I like Austin Allen a lot. I do. I think he's underutilized in this offense at times. But it's not like statistically he's having a dominant year.
You probably have Laporta at Iowa, one of those tight ends.
Yeah, I mean, there's tight ends that have more touchdowns and more catches.
Yep.
Austin Allen, he had 6 catches against Oklahoma, then 4 against Michigan State. Now, he didn't have any against Northwestern. And how many did he have against Michigan? I don't have it here.
I mean, I know that he
He had
had
the touchdown
I think he
catch.
had 2.
He for sure had 2. He had one across the middle in the red zone. That was a really good catch. And then the touchdown. At least 2 catches. Probably
So he's
more.
at 19 catches. That's not that bad.
Yeah, but this is a tight end conference, though, the Big Ten. Yeah, there's a lot of good tight ends. And I don't know, Penn State, do they have a good tight end right now? They usually have a good one. Iowa, of course, has Laporta. That's really good.
Yeah. And Wisconsin has a real good tight
Yeah.
end.
So it's going to be tough if you don't have the stats to be an all Big Ten tight end for Austin Allen. They don't throw him the ball enough. He probably is open more often than he's not, but they don't throw him the ball enough.
Austin Allen had 2 catches for 59 yards. I think 59 yards is right around his high for the season. He has 19 catches, 222 yards, and a touchdown.
Those are pretty good numbers.
Yeah, I just don't
Not
see
all
that
Big
being-
Ten though.
Yeah.
Jurgens.
Do the penalties hurt him in terms
No,
of
no.
his potential for being like all Big Ten first team? I don't know. Like how
I
do
don't
you
think
ass-
so.
I
how
would
do you
imagine
assess
he's
that for a
regarded.
center?
I think he's probably regarded fairly highly amongst coaches in the league. In
I
terms of
agree. I agree.
offensive line play. It's hard for me to assess offensive line all Big Ten chances because it's like it's as much based on how the team runs the ball and how many games they win as it is anything.
He won't be first team because Iowa's got the best center in the
Yeah,
country.
Lindblom. Yeah,
Yeah.
Linderbaum, something like that.
So
One
wait
of
till
those
he
two.
meets Damian Daniels.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's see. Damian versus Lindblom.
I mean, Darian Daniels kicked the crap out of Iowa's offensive line in 2019, so it wouldn't be the first time a Daniels brother has wrecked a front that had first-round picks on it.
Yes.
All right.
What time is it?
Let's play the game. So give us a call right now at 464-5685. A chance to win a business box of bagels to Bagels and Joe and Shut Up Sipple. Sip is 0-3 on the week. Schaefer needs a win badly today.
Skidding.
Throwback Thursday. How about starting quarterbacks in previous Minnesota, Nebraska football games?
Oh, this is atrocious.
It's going to be great, actually. It might be a train wreck. It might be wonderful.
I don't know.
Previous starting quarterbacks in Nebraska, Minnesota games over the last 10
You're on
years.
your own, Sipple. I'm the worst lifeline you could have.
464-5685. Shut Up Sipple starts right now.
We've all been there. You're listening to the radio, and then that rage starts to grow inside of you. It starts to consume you. It gets to a point where you just want to yell, "Shut up, Sipple!" No, sorry. I'm sorry. Well, here's your chance. It's time to shut up, Sipple. Call now to play. 464-5685. Shut up, Sipple. Brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
All right, 464-5685. Call the Takedown Sip and Schaefer in trivia. Schaefer does not feel good about previous starting quarterbacks in this series, Nebraska, Minnesota. Sip, how do you feel?
I don't know how to feel about this. This is a very interesting topic.
Well, that's what we try to do. Make it interesting every day. Alex, how do you feel about starting quarterbacks in Nebraska, Minnesota in the past?
Oh, just okay.
All right. Schaefer's a lifeline for one question for Sip. As always, Alex, the first question goes to you. Here we go. Who was Minnesota's starting quarterback in their 28-24 win over Nebraska in Lincoln in 2014?
Oh, my gosh, Jake.
Ooh.
Yeah, think about this. It's not that hard.
14. I don't even have a guess.
No guess at all? Give you the horns.
No.
All right. No guess at all? for
Say
you
it
guys?
again. Say it again.
Minnesota's starting quarterback in their 28-24 comeback win over Nebraska in Lincoln in 2014.
Yeah, I mean, he's a taller guy that could kind of run, and he was overrated by
Ooh.
Mel Kiper.
Yeah, no, it was Todd McShay that had him as a first-round pick. I just can't think of
Can't think of the name.
Yeah, I
Oh, so you
can't
have
think of the
everything
name.
but the name right.
Yeah. I think
I
no,
bet-
I asked
I bet you
Kiper
Happer
about him.
knows.
I literally made a call to Kiper to see if he was just had the wrong guy. I mean, are you sure you have the
You're
right
talking about this guy
Yeah,
here, right? I just saw him play.
Yeah,
So you're going to pass
yeah.
Mitch Leidner.
Oh, Mitch Leidner.
I had Max on my and it's like I couldn't come up with a last name, and I wasn't gonna. No.
Well, if you didn't get that one right, I don't feel good about your chances of this one. But here we go.
You never know.
Who was Minnesota's starting quarterback in their 34-23 upset win of Nebraska in 2013?
Schaefer?
I don't know.
I wouldn't use him if he doesn't know it.
I don't know it.
34-23 win in 2013.
Yes, this was not Mitch Leidner, by the way.
It
so
wasn't.
don't go the same answer.
And this is a name people would know?
I don't know.
Why would anyone know the Minnesota quarterback?
2013. I wonder if Minnesota fans.
They would know it because they won the game. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3.
John Skladany.
I gave you the horns in the middle of your answer because it was not correct. Alex, do you want to take a try or do you want to pass on that one?
I'm going to pass.
That would be Philip Nelson was his name.
Yeah, kind of remember him. I mean,
don't.
I did.
I was at that game. I remember Rashid Hagman or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, yeah.
He
I was
just-
kicking Mike Moody's.
Yeah,
butt.
Mike Mowdy had a
Mike
terrible
Mowdy.
day.
Oh, yeah. Mike Mowdy was getting his butt kicked. That happens sometimes. All right. For the lead, your last question, Alex. Who was Nebraska's starting quarterback in their 48-25 win over Minnesota in 2015?
15. Seems like a trick question. 15.
5 seconds.
5.
5, 4.
Tommy Armstrong.
I wasn't trying to
Yeah, that
trick you. I
wasn't
was
a
trying to
trick.
give you one that was
Yeah,
pretty
good job.
easy there.
Good job.
Always
Yeah, that
easy
was
question there.
That was not a trick.
All right. This is for the tie, guys. Your last question. Look at Schaefer's eyes. They bulged there. Schaefer's in play here, so use him wisely here. Just use him for the tie.
Wow, that was Freudian.
Who was Minnesota's starting quarterback in their 53-28 loss in Lincoln to Nebraska in 2018?
Do you know that, Shane?
Now, I'm going to give you a hint. Tanner Morgan did not start the game. He came in.
Oh,
He's not the starter, though.
Oh, man.
Starting quarterback.
In 2000.
Who
in
did he
2000.
I have a name.
2018.
That's all I have.
Who did he replace?
I have a name. If you don't have a guess, I have a guess.
Okay, go ahead.
Annexstead.
Zach Annexstead is correct. We're going to the tiebreaker.
That's amazing. Schaefer, that's
Well, so
impressive.
they had a quarterback battle before the 2019 season.
That's right.
He
Yep.
got hurt,
Yep.
and then Morgan went on to.
Yep.
See, we're in the tiebreaker.
Yeah, it's like a Wally Pip.
All right, this will go to Sip, and Alex, you'll go over under Sip's number. I guess you could use Schaefer for this, too, if you want to help out for the tiebreak number. All right,
Thank
you guys can collaborate here. All right, Schaefer and Sip. How many yards of offense did Nebraska have in its 84-13
I know
win
this.
over Minnesota in 1983?
I think I know this on the dot. Okay, 790.
I didn't think he'd get that on the dot, but he got it right. 790 is the correct answer.
790.
Alex, you'll
Wow.
get you a bag on a coffee. Thanks for calling and calling down the road.
If you'd have said 789, do you think Alex would have said over?
I don't know.
790 is the correct.
Yeah. For
Just
some
shy
reason, I
of
know that.
600 yards of rushing. in
I've
that
written
game.
it a few times.
Were you at that game? You weren't covering the
No,
team back
I
then.
wasn't. So then Nebraska scored 21 points in each quarter.
They did. Wow.
Yeah. They only had the ball for 22 minutes.
This is one of the multiple games that caused Sid Hartman to just stand up and cheer
Yeah.
unabashedly in 2013.
Yeah, Nebraska had the ball for 22 and a half minutes and scored 84. They scored 21 each quarter, 790 yards.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Demoralizing to have the ball for 38 minutes and get beat by a million.
Yeah.
Which Minnesota did that year.
790 on the dot. Hello.
Well done. Hey, you got your first win of the week, and the skid is over.
And people got to learn about Philip Nelson.
They did. The great Philip Nelson. Happer joins us next for the spillover next on Early Break in the Ticket.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank. A relationship you can count on.
A chilly morning, but with a decent amount of sunshine. We'll see an afternoon high approaching 65. Winds will be much calmer out of the northwest at 10. Clouds, though, thicken this evening into tonight. We could even see a few scattered showers. A low down to around 43. Decreasing cloud cover tomorrow, but cooler with a high of 61. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you dragging through each day? Most people are dehydrated or deficient in essential vitamins, minerals, and more. Live Hydration Spa helps you get more out of your life with their IV hydration treatments to help with anti-aging, weight loss, endurance, and more. Their performance packages can help you feel better doing your normal daily routine with boosts of energy and vitality, an increase in immunity, and quicker athletic recovery. Call today for an appointment at 402-413-2042 or walk in at 71st and Pioneers. Live Hydration Spa.
With today's Husker Radio Report, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com. One of the bigger questions this week for defensive coordinator Eric Shenander at Minnesota is what will the Gopher backfield look like without Trey Potts, who's been ruled out now for the season?
You got a little bit of the unknown, right? You're probably going to see a young freshman running back in there. You don't know. He could be not as good as those guys. He could be better than those guys. He's just, the next guy up because of his youth. He could be the next great one.
Offensive coordinator Matt Lubick's also expecting quite a test from this talented Gopher pass rush.
Anytime you have a bye, it can help you because you get a chance to heal up, a chance to really focus on that next week to focus on an opponent. But, we get 2 byes during the season as well coming up. The one thing, they're very sound. They're a very good defensive football team. They're going to be who they are, but there's no question they could throw a little wrinkle in that we got to be ready for.
Reporting here with the Nebraska football team in Lincoln, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com.
Building a house today is completely different than it was a year ago. It's great. It's a great time to build a house.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
Interest rates are fantastic. Our lot selection is fantastic. being a large volume builder like we are, we tend to get very good discounts from our suppliers, which has been very helpful. So if you want to build right now, it's a great time to call, make an appointment, set a budget, sign a contract. You're locked in. I'm locked in. Let's figure out your location. Let's get that lot reserved. It allows you then to have some freedom and room to sell your home for a great profit. In the end, it's going to be a win-win for you.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Another packed fall sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. This month's specials are Sam Adams, Exile Brewing from Iowa, and other fall seasons. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch Crowler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage stop at 1801 O Street. All the fall favorites are back at Bagels & Joe. Try their caramel apple cream cheese on any of their bagels, or pick up some pumpkin chocolate chip muffins or pumpkin spice lattes for the office. And don't forget their delicious breakfast sandwiches and burritos. Bagels & Joe with 4 Lincoln locations.
Mike Schaefer here for Trek CBD. There's a lot of CBD shops opening up in Lincoln, but Trek CBD focuses on quality above all else. Their products are from local CBD company Nico Farms and are third-party laboratory tested. They have products that can help with stress, anxiety, pain relief, and more, and have a wide selection of Delta 8, including Serene 8. Trek CBD is locally owned and operated. Go visit Scott or Shannon at their 84th and Highway 2 location or at 27th and S, or go online to Trek CBD with free delivery. Trek CBD, CBD done right.
Last year, the average starting pay for an SCC truck driver training program graduate was $44,720. Southeast Community College can now make that a reality in only 8 weeks with its professional truck driver training class starting in October. SCC's fleet of 12 trucks and professional instructors will prepare you for a new career. You'll end the course with your Class A CDL. Learn more about SCC's professional truck driver training class at southeast.edu/truck driver. SCC, your path to possible.
What are you doing, Sip?
I thought the chickens could use some more light in their lives.
So you're building what exactly?
It's a motion censored switchboard. Duh.
Are you sure you know what you're doing?
Of course.
Ow! God! Ow! Seems like a job for a professional.
Just one more wire. Yep, there you go, right there.
Don't be like Sip. Call Joe at Ambition Electric for any of your electric needs at 402-217-3415.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
We're on the air.
Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jake.
In middle school, I ate Pop-Tarts for breakfast every single day.
You get more bizarre every day.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is time for the spillover. Connor Happer joins us with Mike Schaefer. Good morning,
It is
guys.
time.
Yes.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello.
Do you have any fond memories of Philip Nelson and
Oh, I remember Philip
playing at
Nelson.
Minnesota?
Would you have were you listening?
No, I wasn't. Give me the questions.
Minnesota's starting quarterback in their 28-24 win over Nebraska in 2014.
Was it?
No, that's not Philip.
Mitch Leitner.
Yes, I knew Happer would get Leitner easily.
Mitch Leitner, NFL quarterback.
That's impressive.
And then Minnesota's quarterback in 2013 was
Philip Nelson.
Nebraska's quarterback in 2015 over Minnesota.
Yeah, don't overthink that one.
That would have been Tom Armstrong.
And then Minnesota's starting quarterback in their 53-28 loss in Lincoln in 2018. Starting quarterback.
Annixted?
Annix, look at that. 4 for 4. I thought Happer would get Leitner for sure. I knew he'd get that.
Why did you know Leitner for sure?
Because I remember Mitch Leitner.
Here we go.
Well, I couldn't come up with a name. I knew this is the overrated NFL guy.
So going
I knew
into his senior season, he got some NFL draft buzz, and he was at Big Ten Media Days, and he was just kind of around. And I just involuntarily said right to him, Mitch Leitner, first round draft pick, and he didn't really seem to like that much. But you know,
were you trying to mock him or?
Well, I didn't really.
You said
Did
you mock him to his face?
I kind of did, yeah. I kind of did.
What?
Yeah, it was an accident. Like I said, involuntary.
You did that
because we had made fun of it a lot
right
here. So it was just like kind of it just
So you
like
met him.
It just blurted out of my mouth.
You met him.
Mitch
and
Leitner,
that's-
first round draft pick.
Sip said he had to call Mel Kiper to say if he was actually serious.
I thought
about
he
him
just-
being
I
a
just-
first round pick.
Well, no,
he did not get drafted.
No, I thought he had the wrong guy. As I asked him, "Are you sure? Do you have
Yeah, what did
another
he
guy
say?
in
What did he
mind?"
say?
He goes, "No, this is the guy. I know the guy." It's like that. You think he's a first round
Did
draft
you
pick?
tell him he was dead
I mean,
wrong?
I've dealt with Kuiper for many years, so it wasn't that awkward. I just said, I just don't think that you have the right guy.
You should have told him that he was wrong.
Yeah,
You
kind of
helped
did.
him.
You kind of did
Well, in
by
a
making that
sense, I
phone
did.
call.
Yeah.
In
I just literally thought. I mean, I just literally thought
This can't be right.
Yeah, he just has the wrong guy. Like maybe the wrong school or something. I mean,
Leitner was hurt in 2014, like when Nelson would have started.
I don't know what. Maybe
Because Leitner played 12 games. He started 12 games that year. They went 7-5, so he must have just missed
Nelson
that one
played in
game.
2012 also.
Yeah. I'm
And
just
they
looking
lost in Nebraska.
I'm looking at his. He's basically their full-time starter from 14 through 16, but he must have been out that week against Nebraska.
No, I said 14.
Mitch
He started in
Leitner.
2014. I said
No, you said-
13 Nelson. 13
Was it
Nelson.
13?
14
Oh, my bad.
Leitner.
you're
13
fine.
Nelson.
My bad.
Yeah.
The Minnesota quarterback history is a fun one to track.
sort of.
Well, the Annexstead Morgan thing has always been really intriguing to me because he was the starter that year
Right.
and then got hurt and Morgan took over.
Yeah,
and
Annexstead, yeah, was
and
the
then
starter.
just never let it go. Which was surprising because I thought going into that, like they weren't sure who their quarterback was going to be going into 2019, the year that they won 11 games, and they just like settled on Morgan,
And that was a good choice.
and it was and
They were
been-
loaded with receivers and
but
running
he's been
backs there.
bad this year.
Yeah.
He's been, and their offense has been
They've
bad,
had some
but-
injuries at receiver though too. The running backs, of course, were hurt with Potts and Ibrahim, whatever it is. And then they've got with Ottman Bell's been banged up this year.
No, like I mean, you think about that. I mean, when they had that run in 2019, he was like a 70% completion
he was
guy.
awesome.
Yeah, he had
He's
Tyler
at-
Johnson.
He's sitting at 52 right now.
Yeah,
And I think
first
some of
round
that's
draft pick on his team.
the difference of like they basically just set up the pass.
100%.
Teams would
They
load up
made it
against the
easy on
run.
him. Yeah.
He'd hit a play action. And then, of course, Tyler Johnson, Rashad Bateman. Like their tight end
Chris
was
Ottman
pretty
Bell.
good, whoever that was. Chris Ottman Bell has never been as
But he was a good
Cool.
three guy.
He was a good,
three
yeah.
guy.
He's not a
Sure.
good one. Good
Yeah,
three.
he's a good three guy.
So they're a weird, like we went through the box score of I made him go through the box score of the Minnesota Purdue game from a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So odd. I can't get past
Is it another one of those lopsided ones where you look at it
290
it's like
yards
Purdue
for
should have won?
Minnesota.
Yeah.
450 for Purdue. Purdue scores 13.
Yeah,
Correct.
I assume that there's a bunch of turnovers, but there's only 2 for
Yeah.
Purdue in that game.
Yeah, because we talked about that game earlier in the week.
Yeah,
And-
like,
and
I
one
just
missed field
can't
goal.
get over it. And all it does is make me think that Nebraska should win this game by 4 times the amount of the spread right now.
The name that we came up with yesterday that was a nice throwback was Rashid Hagman.
Yeah.
I mentioned him
He's the
earlier.
one who took Mike Mouty to town.
Yeah, poor Mike Mouty.
Yeah.
Hopefully
They've
he's
had
not
some
listening.
draft picks
If
over
Mike
the
Mouty's
years.
been listening to 93.7 the last 2 days, we've just brought up
Tough.
the
Well,
worst
he
day of his
understands
life.
he had a bad game that day. That was a rough game. Nebraska got upset and he got exposed.
He understands.
It's not like he woke up this week and
He
thought.
gets it.
It's not like he woke up this week and just thought, I'm going to be dragged through the mud here.
I've always been interested in Minnesota, like as a program a little bit, because a lot of history a long time ago, and then kind of dormant basically. But they've had some players over the years, and I like that they play in Minneapolis, and they have a cool stadium and a nice little setup up there. Like it's a program with plenty of potential.
They've had Eric Decker, receiver.
That
Like,
wasn't that
who
long
stands
ago.
out?
started
Like,
with
who
Minnesota.
stands out for them in terms of guys that went? to
Okay,
NFL?
let's think about that.
Well,
Rashad
my-
Bateman's a
Marion
first
Barber.
round.
My
Well, Marion
introduction,
Barber, there
my
you go.
introduction to Minnesota football is
Lawrence Maroney.
Marion Barber and Lawrence
When you
Maroney.
started with the quarterbacks from Minnesota, the first name I thought of, he didn't play against Nebraska, was Adam Weber.
Yeah,
Who was
Adam
like
Weber,
the quarterback
sure.
during that run of their.
Yeah.
They were decent at that time.
Who was that? Was they? Who was their coach back then?
Was that Mace?
Might have been Glenn Mason.
Yeah,
It might have
Glenn
been-
Mason.
I think it
Whoever was
Mason.
before
there for a while.
Jerry Kill.
Yeah. Well, I
So,
think that was Mason.
Weber, I think, was Glenn Mason. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
Mason had a pretty nice run there, as did Kill.
I
by the
think
way.
you guys are ignoring the Tim Brewster era.
I am ignoring the Tim Brewster.
Didn't go
era.
over well.
Yeah,
No,
because
but
that
you're
would have
right.
been that would have led up to Jerry Kill. I
Yes.
think.
Okay, that's right.
I'm gonna check this out.
So,
Yeah, guys.
Yes.
because I think Jerry Kill got hired from Northern Illinois,
Right.
like right around the same time Nebraska joined.
That
the
makes
Big Ten.
sense.
Did you know Lou Holtz coached there for 2 years?
Yes, I was
No,
aware of that.
I didn't.
There you go.
Okay,
Lou
go
Holtz
ahead.
coached in
Mason.
a lot of places.
yeah, but-
Mason 97 to 06, Brewster 07 to 10, Jeff Horton for a year,
I forget that name.
Jerry Kill, Tracy Clays, PJ Fleck.
Hey, now Mason. So Mason lasted 10 years there.
That is correct. Yeah.
He had to have some. He had 9 and 8 win, and
Well,
even
wasn't
probably
it
a 10 win.
64 and 57.
Didn't
Oh, okay.
didn't some of it come up like he had like players taking classes that didn't exist?
I
sort
don't
of
know.
thing? Like,
No. I think that was Tubby Smith. I think you got the wrong sport. I think you got the wrong.
Definitely
sport.
Tubby Smith.
Yeah.
Well, I think
I think you got the
Mason
wrong
had-
sport, Shape. Tubby Smith. had
No, I
that.
think Mason had some issues.
I don't think so.
We'll look it up.
No, don't do that to Glenn. I mean, we can't say that. I don't think he did.
What if he's right though?
Well, it's possible, but
So he had 1 year at 10 and 3.
okay, he had a 10 and 3.
He
threw
had
a
a
10 and 3.
He had a 10 and 3 in 03.
It's pretty good.
8 and 5 the year before that.
Yeah, he had some success there. They made 7
I
bowl
mean, he
games.
had some Fitzgerald-like success. Jake,
They finished in the top 20 twice. In
he had some
his
Pat
tenure there.
Fitzgerald-type success at Minnesota.
He didn't win 2 division titles, so no, he didn't actually. So don't disparage the great
You
Patty
think
Fitz
PJ?
like that.
You think PJ Fleck's the best of the bunch? You think he's the best coach they've had?
I mean,
Well,
at Minnesota,
hard to say that right now. I mean, hard
Yeah.
to say that right now. He's
I think
16
Jerry Kill.
I
was
liked
really good.
Jerry Kill. Jerry
He's
Kill was a
16
good
and
coach.
20 in the Big Ten is PJ Fleck. What was Glenn Mason in the Big Ten?
32 and 48.
Okay.
So almost similar pace.
Yeah.
They're similar pace.
Similar pace.
Jerry
What
Kill.
was Kill in the Big Ten? Kill went 3 and 9, 6 and 7, 8 and 5, 8 and 5.
Okay.
So I mean that's not as great
Jerry
as
Kill
we
in the Big
maybe-
Ten was 14 and 21. Similar
That's
pace.
similar
They're all the
pace.
same coach.
I remember
guy.
thinking that Jerry Kill was a pretty good coach, and like he obviously left for health reasons, and then Tracy Clays kind of took over, and they had a decent.
They had some
Clays,
success.
Clays
after that,
went 9 and 4 and beat Washington State in the Holiday Bowl. They're 5 and 4 in the Big Ten.
Correct.
That's what PJ Fleck inherited, which
Yep.
he inherited something pretty
Sure he did.
good. And then the discussion about Fleck in his first year was what has he done to what's he doing to this program?
Yeah, he kind of tore
Well,
it down a little bit.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah, right.
To be fair, they had a mass exodus of players after
They
that
did.
Tracy Clays season because if you remember,
Well, their
they
AD was
also-
caught up in it too, right?
Well, they also had the whole sexual assault incident on that early August game that entrapped a recruit that Nebraska was recruiting
Okay.
at the same
That's right.
time.
Yeah,
Like,
they-
they had a lot of like player issues
Okay.
that part of why Clays was pushed out is that it
They were
felt
having
like they were
issues.
having issues
Yeah.
with players and so their roster just sort of got dumped.
Okay.
He came in and chased out a bunch of people.
Okay. Yeah.
And so they basically started with like a small roster and then have built it.
Okay.
I think Fleck could be like a consistent 6, 7, 8 win guy.
That's it.
Yeah. And then
11 wins is the anomaly.
Yeah.
You can't get to 11 again or not?
well,
or once in a while.
maybe.
I
Yeah,
mean,
once in a while.
Is there an argument that he can do everything that Kirk Ferentz has done
Yeah,
at Iowa?
that's basically what I'm saying. Yeah.
I mean, because I think so.
Right.
That's good enough in Minnesota.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hot route! Red 7, red 7, red 7! Hot route! Down, set, hut.
It is the deciding game in Dodgers Giants tonight, game 5. Who do you got?
We
winning
know who
this
you're
one?
rooting for, Jake. You
Giants.
hate the Dodgers.
I hate the Dodgers. Go Giants. Go G-Man.
Why do you hate the
I'm
Dodgers?
sick of them. They're always up there, just boring. Same old, same old.
Go Giants.
I'm going for the Giants too, but I don't feel the same disdain toward the Dodgers.
I like change. I don't like the same thing over and over again.
It's surprising.
Sybil's rooting for baseball
The
season.
Dodgers
to be
are
over.
boring
No,
to
I'm
me.
not. I like the Dodgers. I like the Dodgers when I was a kid.
October is the best sports
You know
month we
Steve
have.
Harvey's not
It
playing,
is.
right?
This is the first.
Steve Yeager.
I believe this
Nope.
is the first
Ron
winner
Say.
take all game between 100
Dusty
plus
Baker.
win teams
involved.
in a long time.
Just in the other breath.
I don't know what the official.
This is
number
interesting. The spillover. We're having two different
Yeah, I don't like
conversations.
it. I'm not a fan
It's
of that.
interesting.
What were you guys doing?
You're just naming off 80s
naming
Dodgers.
baseball people.
Yeah.
I can name the whole Dodger roster from 1977.
I'd prefer you didn't.
Jake
Schaefer's next for Steve Sipple. I'm Jake Sorensen. See ya.